Do we normally have it louder than that? It's probably alright.
Fuck me! Jesus Christ! You gotta read all that out?
Yes.
Oh, that's a lot of news.
It is a lot. Look, he scrolls down too.
Alright. The last two lines are not news. They're just a note I wanted to make about a show to remember to talk about it.
Ah, I see.
But everything else is news. So
What you do.
Which is episode 35, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do it occultic 9 style.
No breaks.
I am actually going to do part of it occultic night.
No break.
I have to.
No breaths. No.
Let me swallow first. No, that's it. Hang on, shh. That's a handy tip for all you listeners out there too. Because it's episode 35, and you know what that means?
No.
What does it mean?
I don't either.
I see.
I was trying something new, but it didn't quite work out. So we've got all the regular crew here together at last, and also we've got Stuffy. But yes, regular crew is, Limyaael, Stooge, and Grady, me, Jeroz, and yeah, well, now we have Stuffies as well, but I already introduced them before, so. Hello, I'm chewing.
I'm Dad.
Hi, Dad.
We got some odd members here in the podcast today.
Speaking of special guests.
Oh god. Look, we have no time for any tomfoolery, so I think we should just jump straight into the news.
Let's get
Limyaael,
right.
if you please.
Sorry.
Alright, so the news. I wasn't here last week, so there was no news last week. However, that doesn't mean there isn't all that news for this week. About 2 weeks ago, we had Anime Expo, and of course, that's a
List all the
convention.
announcements.
It's a convention in America. Let me explain for the viewers who don't know what Anime Expo is. It's a
Limyaael,
convention
what's
in LA, and all these Japanese producers, they see it as a great opportunity to go to Santa Monica Beach. I mean, a great opportunity to announce all these new announcements, because that's definitely what they're going to LA for. Anyway, so without any further ado, let's get over it. Black Clover will be animated in autumn 2017 by Piero. Karakai Jozu no Takagi-san, which is an excellent manga, you should all read it. It's going to be animated next year. The manga had topped a poll in March for manga that readers want to see adapted. The visual novel Island will be animated next year, and the English localization of the visual novel has been delayed for the same year for international coordination for marketing. The original VN was released in April 2016 in Japan and developed by Frontwing, which is the same people behind Grisaya.
Oh, bless Frontwing.
Uchu Yorimo Toi Basho is an original anime that's going to be animated by Madhouse, which is going to be reuniting the staff of No Game No Life. Tate no Yusha no Nariyagari will be animated, and its light novels will be released in English. Fully Cooley 2 and 3 are going to be released as films in Japan. However, when they come to Blu-ray, they're going to be split up as 6 episodes, which is how they're going to be released in America. The first one's coming next year, and they're both going to be animated by Production IG, and I think they have other people helping them out for the second one for some reason. Trigger announced 3 series. The first is an original sci-fi, Darling in the Frankiss, which is a joint with A1 Pictures. The director will be Nishigori Atsushi, which is the director of Idolmaster and character designer of Gurren Lagann. And Imaishi will be the action director. Trigger are also collaborating with Tsurubaya Productions for a new tokusatsu series, Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad Gridman.
Yay.
It's directed by Amamiya Akira, the director of Inferno Cop and Ninja Slayer.
Yay. Nice.
And the new original series Promare, which is supposedly similar in tone to Kill la Kill and Gurren Lagann, and Trigger have been working on it for 4 years. So this is probably the project they were talking about earlier this year and last year, where they were saying they're making a new mecha. Okay, Kino no Tabi is going to be airing next season, autumn 2017.
Yay.
So that should be great. Shoujo Shumatsu Ryoko is going to be animated and directed at White Fox by Ozaki Takaharu. It's an excellent manga, so it's going to be great. It's like sci-fi slice of life. It's cool. Angle is going to be animated next year at NAS. Project D is an original time travel anime by director Sato Takiya, who did Steins Gate. So that should be good. Chiyo-chan no Tsukugakuro is going to be animated next year by Daima Dia. Full Metal Panic Invisible Victory is now going to air in spring 2018. It was originally supposed to air this autumn, and it's going to be animated at Zebek. Just Because is an original romance anime. It's going to air next season.
Oh yeah, that's a show.
Animated by Pine Jam. It was originally announced on April Fool's Day, but it was revealed to actually be real 4 weeks later. Okay, that's all the announcements from Anime Expo that I cared about. If there were others, well, too bad. You'll find out about them later. However, first we must turn to some depressing news. Artland, the studio behind...
Yeah, we actually mentioned this.
They're dead!
Yeah, I know.
But do you know how they died?
Oh, no.
No, you don't. This is why I'm here for you.
Okay, exactly.
Anyway, basically, they just outsourcing costs kept costing more and more. 4 years ago, they had 260 million yen, and then last year they had 21 million. They were just constantly accruing debt. And another company bought them out last year trying to restructure them. I guess that failed badly. But the most important news is that their last anime was Sin no Natsu no Taisai.
Sin.
Which is a Yuri ecchi show. Which is... What a great way to go out.
Speaking of
The studio behind Mushishi.
Last month there was tweeted rumors that one of the old studios working on that show is going out. So basically it's either Artland or TNK.
Yeah.
So...
Anyway, Gainax's plans after Aoki Uru have been revealed as they will adapt 3 Matsumoto Leiji works into the Zero Century trilogy of films, beginning with Zero Century Esmeraldas, an adaptation of Queen Esmeraldas in 2020. The manga received a 4-episode OVA adaptation in the late 90s. The other 2 films releasing in 2023 and 2026 are Zero Century Harlock and Zero Century Myatel. So, all these old popular things are coming back to life.
They ran out of ideas.
Hey, it's Gainax. They need money-making ideas. That's why they're releasing a sequel to Honeysumis. They need the money.
Yeah, they need the money. Good luck, Gainax.
How's that motherfucker?
Somebody guy.
Did we talk about Okada Murray's new film last week?
No.
Okay, Okada Murray has a new film. She's going to be the writer and director for the first time. I mean. The movie is Sayonara no Asu ni Yakusoku no Hana wo Kazaro. The film will be animated by PA Works and is releasing in Japanese cinemas in February 24 next year. The 3D action RPG game Little Witch Academia Chamber of Time will have an English release early next year for PC and PS4. The game releases in Japan on November 30. Buy it so Trigger makes more anime. Handshakers.
What?
I never thought I'd say that name again. Will receive a stage play in Shibuya in January next year.
Multimedia franchise!
The 3D probably won't be that bad.
No, I've seen 2 suggestions about how they're going to make it worse. The first option is they're going to give everyone a personal strobe light to hold underneath their faces to make it much harder to watch, to simulate the effects of the show. The second option is they're going to have a projector at the back and they're going to be real-time drawing the scenes on top of the actors.
What show was Crane Girl? What show was that doing in real-time Crane Girl, is it?
Oh.
Yeah, I think it was Crane Girl.
Naria Girl?
Naria.
Okay.
Look, I didn't want to say the name. You forced my fucking hand, so let's keep going.
You won't have to admit that you know what it is.
I wish if there was one thing I could erase from my memory.
Wait.
Legitimately.
Nakuzu no Honkai.
No. I don't regret watching Kuzuno Honkai more than I regret watching fucking Naria Girls. Because the concept, the idea, everything about it was just a fucking low point. Just, no.
Now that's a strong statement. The Yukino franchise has launched a new series of novels titled Kusunoki Megaki wa Yushidearu, taking place 2 years after Washi Yasumi, and is therefore concurrent with the original anime. Which, considering that the whole world is very small, I won't say spoilers for why that is. That's going to be interesting by how they just avoid everything that happens in the original series conveniently. Or whatever.
Happens.
Hideaki Anno, creator of Evangelion and co-founder of Gainax and Studio Car, is helping launch an animation company in Kyushu to train young animators for an upcoming project. As over 87% of anime production companies are in Tokyo, the project is trying to gather some talent from the far west of Japan, which is good. There aren't many studios out of Tokyo that I can think of. There's obviously Kyoto Animation and PA Works who are in Toyama, but are there any others?
Yeah, I think the most I've seen is a Japanese Kickstarter project for an Okinawa anime, but not much else.
Moving on, Mari to Majo no Hana will open in over 155 countries worldwide. Wait,
what is this?
That's not a typo. Mari to Majo no Hana, Mary and the Witch's Flower. The director did, I think, Mani at Ghibli.
Yeah, that's the one that a lot of people say.
Yeah, so people have been really anticipating.
Yeah.
It's the one where Miyazaki said he's happy that he made the movie, but he doesn't want to watch it.
Oh gosh.
The old man. Anyway, Mammoth Entertainment have confirmed that Australia will be getting a cinematic release of the film. So
Yeah.
I'm sure the club will organise something around that.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
film opened in Japan last week and made over 400 million yen on its opening weekend and was ranking number 2 at the box office. Unfortunately, number 1 was Pirates of the Caribbean.
Look, don't be too harsh because I do want to see that one day.
Johnny Depp's at it again.
Oh my god. On to some controversy. Yuragi no Yunasan, which is published in Weekly Shonen Jump, has sparked controversy due to its highly sexually suggestive illustrations for its cover page of the week's magazine and the insert pages which are detailing the results of a character popularity poll. Some claimed, however, that despite children being a large chunk of WSJ's audience, it's necessary for children to see erotic images as part of one's growth to adulthood, and that the desire of parents who want to maintain the purity of their children is more about their own egos than actually protecting the children.
God bless Japan.
I love it. Egawa Tatsuya, the
See some titties,
manga...
grow up, be a man.
New tactics to combat the declining birth rate.
I mean, you gotta do something.
Aggressive tactics.
Anyway, so the mangaka behind Golden Boy and Tokyo Daigaku Monogatari, which are 90s manga, said that the most important thing was to let children read freely and think for themselves.
Yeah, you know what?
Thinking is good.
Yeah. I don't think you end up being our anime.
Oh,
sorry.
And that's the news for this week.
Oh.
That took a while.
No, it's a...
No, I mean, you did it in under 10 minutes. So,
Amazing.
That's good.
Quick retorts. Trigger wants to save the fuck out of anime right
I
now.
know!
Yep. Second of all, I want to apologize for the R anime comments.
If you're from our anime, thanks for watching. It's great to have you here.
Thanks for listening. I value your input. I look forward to you bandwagoning how Handshakers is actually good. Thank you. Alright.
Anyway, the topic of discussion for this week is...
Seasonal review. Wait, no.
The other way.
Wake up, Hitorijime!
Yeah.
Wake up!
Yeah.
Seasonal
It's
first impressions.
summer first impressions. We've got a lot to go through, so I think we should get right stuck into it. What, alphabetical order? Alphabetical.
Sure.
Let me start with one. I watched Castlevania on Netflix last night.
That's not Get out of here!
At work.
Wait, they already made that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you haven't seen it? It's
4
really good.
episodes.
I mean, I don't want to go on a tangent, but it's actually really good for a short. Like the animation and the fight scene choreography.
It's not anime. Yeah, it doesn't look anime at
But anyway,
all.
that's a tangent that will leave for now. Okay, go, let's go.
Alright, we'll start with 18IF. Yeah.
Yeah.
The project that revealed absolutely no information before it aired.
Everybody calm down.
Okay.
Take a deep breath.
I guess the first...
Okay, so who's watched it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Okay, give us a short synopsis of it.
Yeah, so it's kind of like this guy. I think it starts off really shrouded in mystery, kind of. You know, a guy kind of wakes up, I guess, in some sense, in like a dream type thing.
It's Paprika about being trippy.
Yeah, basically, and there's a.
Without being trippy.
Yeah.
He kind of has to like work out what's going wrong in the dream to help out these people who never wake. Like have this Sleeping Beauty syndrome or whatever it's called.
Walks into the red door, find the blue door, and solve the puzzle throughout on the way.
Yeah,
Basically, that's it.
While also learning a little bit about himself.
What? What himself?
No, never
It's
mind.
only one episode in. We haven't learned anything about it.
He has no personality as far.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because it's
Oh, it's
kind
one of those. No, I was positing a question.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because he's kind of
Kind of blank
Like-
slate.
like he's like it's a dream, like who cares, right?
Oh,
You know,
okay. He's one of those.
yeah, it's like doesn't really care about dying and stuff like that
Okay.
in the dream because it's a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you die in the dream, you don't die in real life. This isn't a video game.
Yeah. So yeah, it's that kind of like mystery, and it's kind of kind of episodic, but still has that very overarching plot that does continue on.
So does it all take place in the dream? Like they never go out into the real world?
It goes
Show some scenes of him waking up afterwards.
Yeah, he doesn't really go out that much. Like at the end of the episode, he leaves.
He wakes up.
We don't know, but so he leaves the dream, but he seems to be in some kind of confined space. So we don't know much about that yet.
Alright.
So it's Assassin's Creed. Just kidding. Going back to the comments about not being trippy, the visuals are really bad, really bland, really boring, really bland, really rushed out. They're trying to do some multi-frame thing like on this Hulk, that type of stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like 4x4, multiple copies of the same voice overlapping each other.
So the audio visuals are trying to be interesting.
Trying to be interesting, but
doing it the wrong way.
Yeah,
it's not working.
Although one interesting part is that the opening and the music is done by Teddy Lloyd.
Oh yeah.
That's probably why you can try to listen to it, but I think visually it's really bland.
Because I'm looking at the poster and it looks kind of cool, and then you tell me the visuals are bad.
Going into this show, I had really low expectations. I don't remember exactly why, but it was like it's kind of like felt like there was a bit of promise. But yeah, I was actually surprised. I liked it a fair bit. Thought it was pretty enjoyable, honestly. Like visuals, I guess, slightly bland, but also not that bad, I thought.
Mediocre, average, perhaps.
So recommend scale out of 5.
That's too high. It's too early.
Would you recommend or not?
I guess.
Alright.
Yeah.
It's one of the shows that I feel like can, like, taking some more people by episode 2. I gave up after episode 1, but I feel like episode 2, more scenarios given, we can learn more about the protagonist and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like by episode 1, I don't feel really enticed by what's given.
That's fair. That's fair.
I guess maybe it's still too early to see.
Yeah.
Episode 2 does some more interesting stuff, but it's like it's still probably a bit too early to know for sure.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Sure. How it's going to go. So
okay. Speaking of bland visuals and great ideas, here we are at Action Hero in Cheer Fruits.
Oh my
Great
god.
segue.
Yeah.
Nice.
Give me a high five first.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, okay. First things first. Anything with tokusatsu in it, so Power Ranger shit, Ultraman shit, Kamen Rider shit, I'm going to love.
Samurai Flamenco is the best shit ever.
Yeah, exactly. What he said. So when I watched this, and it was this fucking cheesy, campy shit. You could even see the lines hanging off of the characters as they're doing their stunts. Unashamed sponsoring. Trying to make little kids happy through like this Power Rangers performance thing. I loved all of that.
yeah, it was great.
And it does feel like it's a bit on the budget as far as the animation and stuff goes, and maybe the voice acting can be a bit more polished, but I don't really care because if anything, it just intensifies that already budget charm from within the show itself. But that's just what I feel at the moment.
So what is this? Like a slice of life girls Power Rangers?
I think local though.
Yes.
With tokusatsu instead of idols.
Local Doll was like kind of low key, I guess you'd say. Take on the idol. So this is kind of like low key take on the
so within the universe, think that there are idols, but instead of idols, they're action heroines.
Okay.
So when people are obsessed with idols, they're instead obsessed with these fucking Kamen Riders who are women and like so
that's cool.
Yeah, the concept is so solid. I am very excited for the next episode.
The first episode, really high note. Like it started out with that oh no, they're going to a viewing and it ends up cancelled. And there's absolute devastation.
I want to avoid talking about the whole episode because I could, but I did enjoy it, but I think a lot of your enjoyment out of it will be dependent on how into tokusatsu stuff you might be.
Which is probably why I didn't like it very much.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And probably why I found it very disjointed and... I was confused in the first few minutes as to whether the tokusatsu stuff was meant to be like actual, like, you know, is this a fantasy world where they're actually heroes, or is this the real tokusatsu stuff? It took me a while to work out. Oh yeah, it's the fake stuff. And after that confusion, just I didn't really connect with any of the characters, and I was just like,
Yeah, the characters are perhaps a bit on the. I guess they're a bit basic right now, but I'm guessing this is going to be one of those shows where the growth is going to be just as important as everything else that's happening.
Yeah, I think the budget seems higher than like Power Rangers or something.
A little bit.
Power Rangers with girls with all the money.
Well, they're trying to get both the cute girl and the tokusatsu demographic and just like meld them together. Jeroz, you also watched this. What did you think?
Yeah, basically what you said.
Yeah.
Like, basically it's like, oh, this looks bad. I want to like just criticize it, and then suddenly the devastation hits. Oh my god, I actually like this shit. And then just like after that, just like, oh my god, I love this. Okay, hurry, watch this.
I know. The stuff with the props, the fucking 80s style opening. There's so much for me to love here, but again, it depends on how much that sort of thing is your thing. So yeah.
Speaking of action heroines, what? The easiest possible segue: Battle Girl High School. I'm sorry, I couldn't miss that. So.
What is Battle Girl High School, Stooge?
Well, originally it was a gacha game. It still is a gacha game. Pretty good one. Currently, I'm reaping the rewards of the event.
A good gacha game.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh yeah, they shouldn't go.
point out that oxymoron.
Yeah. Alright. It's okay. So it's basically some monsters invading the planet, and there's about 19 now actually heroine girls who are basically fighting them.
They're miniature size, right, or something like that.
What?
Or was that the last?
In the gacha game, they are. Like,
But not in this.
In this, it's anime girls, right?
Oh, okay.
They're typical. They go to school. It's schoolgirls, right? The biggest thing I was worried about was that they'd introduce all the characters Myoga style, because there's 19 of them. As in, and if you don't know what Myoga style is, that's where they introduce every character by name and hobby in the first 5 minutes of the show, and then you don't remember anyone afterwards.
But you played again.
I did play the game.
So do you remember any of them?
I remember all of them. But I feel like they haven't actually introduced any of them at all.
Yeah.
But you played again.
I did play the game.
So you know all of them.
Yes, I know all of them.
Okay. So from what you've seen so far, is this more for the fans kind of thing, or?
I tend to think so, because the way they haven't introduced the characters much, I feel like you're supposed to know them from the game beforehand.
Yeah.
And then, because like, you can sort of judge the character's personality by watching the show if you're paying attention.
Well, of course, but
you got the neat and you got the edgy one. You know what I mean. You get each of these characters, right?
What a great adaptation, requiring you to have read the source material.
Yeah, great.
Okay, just a little bit of background. Apparently, like there's main stories in the game as well, like 3 arcs already.
Yeah.
And this one's setting up for the 4th one. Wise heard from other fans as well.
Yeah. I just checked on the game. There is the 4th arc in there as well.
So this is a multimedia franchise.
Yes.
We are gonna abuse that so badly in this episode.
Well, Japan is already abusing it.
Yeah.
You may as well take it with us.
So it doesn't feel like something to call back the old fans. Just like, hey, we're still going great. Please come back and play.
We still exist. Don't forget about us.
come on, look, we made the anime. Can you just please play our game again? Come on, stop on that fake shit. Come on, play our game.
Probably is. In fact, the only reason I actually started playing the game is because the anime was coming out. It's in the game show.
Well, I mean, it worked for one weeaboo. It can work for more.
I'm sure they're very happy.
But as a newcomer, I like what you said. I don't really know all the characters that well. I feel like it's done decently, but like it's just not overwhelming. But I just feel like I need to watch more before I know what's actually going on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But so far, mobile game, cash-in anime.
pretty much.
Yeah.
I get the feeling like it kind of feels a lot like the schoolgirl strikers. If anyone watched that kind of feeling.
I barely even remember it exists.
Last season, isn't it?
No.
I think I got those two animes confused.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, it's like that's
Yeah.
Like, if you liked Schoolgirl Strikers, I think it's
Probably
similar
go to-
to
Basically, the whole transformation, fighting monster, and the school life training arc.
Pretty
And
much, yeah.
How do you feel about the player character having a face now?
Oh yeah,
teacher.
right.
Oh.
So in the gacha game, you play as the sensei, the only
okay.
male character in the entire thing. But in the anime, the sensei is a character. As in, you see them, they're animated, they have a face.
Okay.
Did they gender swap the sensei in the end?
No, it's still a dude. Oh no, wait.
Right.
So they failed.
Well, I mean,
It's a dude.
this could
It's no different than like giving a face to the producer from Isekai.
but I mean,
Or like,
like,
a face
yeah,
to the
that-
admiral and
Look, some
Yeah.
some will argue, and I know Jeroz will argue that giving the face to the Idolmaster producer actually helped Idolmaster in some way. And you know, maybe this will happen at Battle Girls High School, but
Yeah, well,
it's
fingers crossed, huh?
it is what it is. It's probably.
Are you saying that while laughing in your mind?
No, I mean, I gotta. I give up.
Speaking of giving the player character a face,
I thought you were going to say speaking of giving up.
speaking of giving out coin also, just kidding. What do you got? Concentrate to Touken Ranbu.
What?
Alright.
What?
Why are we segueing all the way there? Okay.
Touken Ranbu Hanamaru.
No. Concentrate to Touken
No,
Ranbu.
this is the action. This is the male adaptation of Touken Ranbu. As opposed to the more Fujoshi aimed one last year
right,
by
the slice of
Tomo.
life, like, ooh, I wonder if these two characters
Basically,
are gonna
remember
get together.
how like the school life part, like training part, and the whole action fighting parts. Basically, like gacha can usually like two facets like this: the headquarters and the missions. And
Yeah.
Hanamaru is basically the headquarters shenanigans, and this one is
Katsugeki.
basically all the missions so far, as far as we can see from the 3 episodes so far. And yeah, it's by UFO table, so the usual like visual fidelity is up there as well, and they hire like basically the whole sword fighting, like actual sword fighting dojo master to help out with the fight, to help out with the actual sword fights, and they also get a, which should be industry standard really, like an actual historian to make sure that everything at that time is actually historically correct.
Do their
So,
3D backgrounds look better than they did in Zestiria?
I don't watch his.
I didn't watch this story, but I think like from what I saw, it looked pretty consistent. At the very least, you could tell Ufotable is like being more adept in what they do. and
They're
the
always
tools they
getting
use.
better, I feel like.
Yeah, they're always getting better. Exactly.
Yeah.
Wait, this was a gotcha game as originally?
It's a like web game.
Yeah, brother.
Oh,
Same company as Can't call it.
Okay, oh, right.
Collections, similar stuff. Character
Kind of.
I would have never guessed. I knew it was like some game because Ufotable is like pretty much like the go-to for game adaptations nowadays. But like,
Yeah.
right, like recently, right? You have Zestiria, you got Fate, and you got stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I mean,
God Eater, which no one remembers.
God Eater, yeah. I know. I knew they were doing one more in my head, and I was trying to remember. So, but as
Someone
as an anime watcher only, I agree with a lot of points that Jeroz says. The visuals are pretty good. The action's great. They're more adept at their weird CGI creatures. It's still kind of like wonky, but like it's getting there.
They are focusing down on the narrow like 5-6 character parts as well this time around, and they make the navigator. They make the navigator like to a Doraemon basically, just so high tech. It's like, wait a sec, I don't remember this one being high tech.
The navigator's the dog thing, right?
Yeah, the fox thing, yeah.
The cute fox, yeah.
Yeah, but the most important thing is that the actual emerald equivalents, the Saniwa, actually turned out, and it's a Shota. He was like, people were surprised that it actually turned out. Well, for the ones that actually didn't like read out all the interviews beforehand, but yeah, they actually turned out, and for that to actually pop up in the actual mission, which is not something you do in the game, because think of kind of like collection, it's a very similar idea. The emerald don't go out into the actual missions, but in this one you actually do. So in that sense, it presents a lot of like possible like story development, dramatic development later on, and yeah.
So I guess the other thing to say is what it's about.
Oh yeah.
It's basically time broken.
Yeah, except without the jokes. It's a much more serious time.
So basically, there's these guys that try to keep the history as is, and you have these guys from the future.
They
that
are the
try to
time
change it.
police.
Hang on.
And like for some reason they send shadow samurais instead of like people with guns just to like obliterate everything. I don't know why. Like if you want to change like feudal Japan, you just send robots with guns. I don't know why you send shadow samurais, but okay, that's fine. And
But then you're asking, like, why the fuck are we fighting alien battleships
Yeah.
World War II
And-
battleships
I mean-
who've turned into little girls?
that's like that's your suspension of disbelief. And then, so and then
No, you're right.
the guys that are trying to protect history, they're like, is this one dude that summons swords from famous people who use these swords, and these swords turn into people, and they fight the shadow.
Gilgamesh.
Yeah, I think like they kind of do explain a bit, or from memory they kind of go a bit into that in later episodes. I don't remember.
There's 3 episodes out right
So
now,
far,
right?
yeah.
I've only watched the first 2, so.
Hanamaru pretty give you the whole summoning sequence, really. So if you've seen Hanamaru, you just like, oh, this is what happens in the headquarters, so this is how they summon it. Okay, it's done.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah.
But like, it's going very slowly at the moment. It basically going to go to the tone, the character introduction, and the whole like story progression, like the type of 3P that I usually follow when looking at the first 3 episodes of Zeroes anyway.
Is
So-
this a sequel?
No.
Yeah, that's
It's a
what I
different
thought.
take. They are
Yeah,
very
that's what I
story.
thought. Just I checked.
The original game has basically no story, just dialogues between the swords.
Okay.
But yeah, so basically there are lots of like works, stage shows, manga, light novels. They basically go in different angles as to what type of drama you can have. And
Well, and
so we don't know.
So is this more like Shingeki no Bahamut, where they basically make up their own story?
some
Like
kind
follow along like little bits of the game and then they just do whatever
well,
they
I
want
think it
otherwise?
still follows more about the game than Shingeki no Bahamut. Yeah, and there are already speculations that this is the second round for some of the swords, as in like their previous, they have the same sword before they got broken up, something like that. So it's some speculations already. So, but yeah, we don't know which one it will go.
Well, as an anime-only watcher, I'd recommend it for now, at least, like from what I've seen so far. The pace is a bit slow, but the action is very solid, and that's I think what like the content, like what this show is going to be mostly about. The action with a little bit of character tomfoolery, those 5 not Fujoshi tone people. Anyway, yeah, that's that.
Enough for Joshi Tong.
What?
Let's just grab another quick one out of the way first. Hitorijime My Hero is a possibly yaoi show, possibly.
Nice.
I haven't watched it.
You haven't
What
watched
show is this?
Hitorijime My Hero.
I have not watched. No.
Hitorijime. It basically is like slice of life. Well, it's basically a not slice of life, but basically a normal everyday life drama show about a guy who used to be in a gang and just try to escape from it because some guy he look up to save him from the gangs. And basically that's the whole gist of the first episode, and it feels really gay. So.
It means that literally, guys. It's not an insult, right?
No, it's basically like you like the amount of admiration for the protagonist to this guy higher up would become the teacher of his school in the high school. Basically, just this feels like a gay game. Yeah, I just keep getting the feeling like the admiration is too much than just like typical student to teacher to typical like feel like there's some like romance going on. But yeah, I feel like if you don't mind like the whole shonen I think it's a decent like really normal dramatic show, but I don't watch much gay stuff, so like nothing against gays. Just
No, of course not.
nothing against
Okay, so some yaoi undertones, but other than that, pretty solid drama.
you might still go full yaoi later on. Who knows?
Oh, who knows?
But yeah, it's a very decently written like drama
Alright,
so far.
fair.
Anyway, next up.
Could go
Right.
either way at the moment.
Speaking of things that might go gay, Dive
Alright,
is
done.
a diving anime. Surprisingly.
Is it?
Oh, it's not the free sequel?
Wait, also.
Yeah,
It's basically,
That's a good one.
hello, we're free, but we want to piss you off.
What?
Piss you off? Like how?
Well, because like free is just a setup basically for just a regular club show that KyoAni does every few years or so.
It's a setup
and
for
it just happens to be starring guys instead of girls.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
But KyoAni can't really write guys.
So they just end up feeling like girls. But hey, they get their tops off a lot. So,
But this feels like a spiteful version of free.
It's fine.
It's like the main character's an asshole.
Do you like that?
No, not really.
It's basically a high schooler on the diving club outside of the school, and basically this club is facing shut down.
Oh, what a surprise!
Well, the club might be facing a shut. I don't even remember anymore.
Yeah, I think it was like.
There's so many weird decisions made with this that I didn't really like it.
Elaborate on some of the decisions.
Alright, okay. So first of all, the main character, he's got this girl who, she's already confessed to him, and then he accepted, but then broke up with her, maybe?
No, just like not really into it.
Well, you're not into it, and she, is constantly trying to tag along with him. So that's just
one lingering plot line. That's
weird.
Just like, why
it's
is it
just
there?
like, yeah, why is this here? Like, is this meant to signify that the character is gay? Like. Is it just a thing that's going to come up later? It just feels really tacked on and really weirdly placed in the show.
does it signify his emotional depth?
But like when
The duality of man.
when more than 95% of the show is set like at the diving club,
Yeah.
just set all of it at the diving club. I don't care what he does at school. Just say he went to school and then he came to the diving club. Like, you've got this extra character. Like, and another thing is they keep showing them at the shoe locker, putting away their shoes and so. And it's just like, why are these scenes here? Is this just taking up time? Did you need to show this? Could you not just show him walking out the gate? And we know he just left school.
The shoe locker scenes symbolize the depth.
The pool that he's gonna jump into.
Sorry.
Not the depth of the character, the depth of the pool.
This is all I've got for a show called Dive, okay?
So, okay, like even from what you've explained, I'm not really sure what this show is about. Is it just about
alright.
Is it just like shots of him diving for 20 minutes?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes. Okay, and there's like a tiny plot thread drama. But the biggest thing for me, which made me just go, who is writing this, is the bit at the end where they bring in a new coach, and it's like the only woman in the show really, and she's the really angular design and stuff. She's meant to be like the kind of asshole sensei kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
The one where you just
not really
go, whip me,
announced
sensei, whip me.
Yeah, kind of like that, I guess. But at the end, she basically goes up to them and is all like, hey, you gotta train more if you want to make the Tokyo Olympics. They're all like, what? And I'm like, you're in a diving club! It's 2017! What else are you going to do with your life? The point of being a diver is to get to the Olympics. Just something like that, because like, I was in swimming in high school. I was, I'm not good enough to really get anywhere, but there were people in the club. It's like, they're good enough to try to go to the Olympics, and that's the goal for everyone. Get to the Olympics, because the Olympics is the biggest event. For like all the events you see at the Olympics, that is the biggest version of them, with maybe like the exception for golf or I don't know, chess. What's the new one they put in for the next time? Like diving is all about you get to the World Championships, you make yourself a name, and then 2 years later you go to the Olympics.
Yeah.
You jump off a platform.
So, like, and these people, it's not like they're in like a school club or something. They're in a serious club set up by this company who does all this swimwear and all that kind of stuff. You would think they would be going, hey, Olympics. And just the fact that none of the characters considered it, it pissed me off. It's just like no one knows what they're talking about here.
You just have so many weird plot thread going on right now that we don't know how to mix it after the first episode, so yeah.
So it's a mess right now.
Yeah.
Plenty of male
you
fans
just don't understand.
looking for that.
So, speaking of...
By the way, that's male coming from male fan service, if there was any confusion.
I understand.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's just Dojin.
Yeah.
You said coming.
Welcome to the podcast, folks. We're making
Front side.
Okay, so next, what do we have?
Speaking of, there are many ways we could do it. Because speaking of with me, Sensei, let's go to Kakegurui.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
That's less with me sensei and more like with me senpai. And also treat me like a dog because I lost in gambling.
So what is this about?
So Kakegurui is about high school gambling.
Everyone in the school, except for the one character who is technically the viewpoint character, is loaded. And basically, they bet ridiculous sums of money on these gambling games, and if you lose too much money, you suck.
Yeah. You become a pet.
You basically become Kaiji if he couldn't get out of it.
And our main character gets turned on by gambling, so she's constantly like throwing in a shit ton of money that she doesn't have just to gamble and with the thrill of the chase, I guess.
She does have it.
Gambler.
Well, she acts like she doesn't have it, just to fuck people.
The main girl, by the way, is voiced by the very lovely
Nayami
Sari,
and it's great.
who also voiced Kaede from Idolmaster, and
Shirayuki and Akuyami no Shirayuki Hime.
and the girl from Origairu.
Yeah, that's right.
She has a cute voice, but here she manages to do crazy bitch well too.
Yeah, you said this before. I'm pretty sure. Like this, it gives her a lot more range to work with. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really cool to see her.
She
voice
does it almost
in this role.
too well, thinking emoji.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, me too.
From the one episode I've seen, well, it certainly sets up its premise very interestingly. So I imagine it would be one gamble per week kind of situation.
Yeah, the second episode is pretty much another.
It's another gamble.
Yeah.
If you've read, preferably, Jitsu wa Watashi wa, you know how crazy the faces get in that manga. This has tons of crazy faces, and the art looks wonderful because, of course, it's Studio Mappa, who rarely fail.
Also,
Legs.
music.
We'll get to that later.
The music is by Techno Boys.
The opening is great.
Yeah, the opening is not by Techno Boys.
The opening
The opening is great anyway.
Real.
Yeah, the music's by Techno Boys, which, if you don't know, they did the music for Trinity 7, the ending for Fate Ilia, the third season, I think. Witchcraft Works, Pandora, which is, Ghost in the Shell. Anyway, yeah, they did a lot of good stuff. So, they're good stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it's pretty good, yeah.
There is a plot, by the way.
There
I
is
only
a
get to see
lot.
the first. You've only seen the first episode,
right.
so it just looks like gambling, but there is a plot.
The only real problem I have with the show is it reminds me a lot of No Game No Life in that, like, the protagonists are made to be smart, but we don't get the chance to work it out.
Right.
It also reminds me kind of of Joker Game, except Joker Game sucked. Where, like...
It doesn't remind me of Shoku Game at all.
No, but, like, in the way in which... the first episode of Joker Game, in that, you sat down and there's a mystery, there's something weird going on, but we don't get the chance to notice it and work it out.
The difference being that Joker Game, like, they calculated everything and tried to play the safest way possible. In this one, she go for the most risky play possible.
Yes.
Yeah, but in episode 2, it's a game about cards. It's basically the memory game, and the other person. We can just spoilers. It's only the second episode. Basically, one of them's cheating by there being something on the back of the cards, and it's like this tiny pattern. And Yumiko is just this crazy genius that notices all of it. But I didn't notice it. I didn't have the chance to notice it. Because I didn't get a good look at any of the cards, really. I didn't get a chance to go, maybe there's something going on with the cards. I would appreciate more if I had chances to at least have a guess at what's going on, as opposed to... Don't get me wrong, I greatly enjoy just watching them do it. Like, I still enjoyed No Game No Life.
Yes.
Not great, but It's still fun, but I would prefer the ability to try and work it out ahead of time. Just that kind of stuff increases the stakes when you become personally invested in working out what's going on.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, I don't know. To be fair, I felt like the first episode did sort of give you a chance. You could have kind of maybe.
Yeah, the first episode kind of.
With the crowd, with everything that was going on, it was a vote-based system. Like you just know, like in your head, it's already playing. Like, okay, surely they're rigging this. What's really going on?
Yeah, I think that between the two of them, the first episode probably does it a bit better.
Okay, so right now, so it's a 50-50 split between like, okay, they're giving us a bit of a chance to figure it out, and oh wait, she's just super smart.
I think the second episode won that as well. Like there was kind of that. Generally, 90% what's going on, and they kind of reveal that 10% because you kind of. It's pretty easy to look at what's going on and go, all right. This is how they're playing. That's probably what's going on, and you can run through those possibilities a bit. But there's as you said, there's not that full able to work it out, but that might be still fun.
It's still fun. It's still fun. I just wish there were a bit more of a chance.
Well, and these have crazy faces every single time.
From what I've seen, it's at the very least stylish as fuck. I might just be pulled in by that alone.
Just like how No Game No Life was able to just completely win me over anyway because the art looks gorgeous. This is winning me over because the art is gorgeous and the music is great. It's so stylish that it doesn't matter that it's like the plot's okay.
Speaking of stylish, Princess Principal.
Oh.
Yeah, good stuff.
Well, that was a bit of an underwhelming reaction there.
Actually, because I didn't yell out what I was thinking.
Yes.
Okay, Studio 3 Hertz are back again.
Okay, well, what is it about?
Wonderful!
First?
Okay, basically, alternate history London, where the one half of the city is a part of the Kingdom of England, the other half is part of the Commonwealth of England.
Oh, wow.
We do podcast again.
How am I not on this show already? Holy crap, this sounds awesome already.
Because why not? So done by Studio 3 Hertz, guys who did Flip Flappers and Dimension W.
Wow, how am I not
and
on
Sora
this show?
Method. It's also written by Kochi Ichiro, who did Code Geass, Valvrave, Guilty Crown, Comet Lucifer, Name Your Trainwreck.
It's gonna wreck.
Cabaneri as well.
An actual train wreck.
It's gonna wreck.
I'm super excited about this because it doesn't matter which way it goes. There are only two options for the show. Option 1, it's fucking amazing and as good as Flip Flappers. Option 2, it's a train wreck, but it's still incredibly entertaining.
Oh, I gotta watch this now. How did I not?
The setup to me is too good to kind of turn into Valvrave, where it just kind of goes, what's happening? It's just boring. And also, it's too short. It's 13 episodes, I think. So basically, our main characters are spies, except of course, spies are little girls, because fuck it.
Anime.
And it's a spy show set in a steampunk alternate universe London.
Damn.
It's good stuff. Yeah.
And apparently, the character designs by Kuwabushi Kohaku, who did the previous one, like was the best Seikasei Fuku World Conquest, whatever it's called.
Oh, yeah. That was good as well.
The character design is
very
beautiful.
good.
So how many episodes are out so far? Just one. But the one was good enough.
Yeah.
The second episode is out tomorrow.
Oh.
So if there is a plot to the show, which there may be, it could be fairly episodic.
They have got 4 Joker games.
Right now it's just here is showing us that the main characters are badass spies.
There are already some points that you can consider like possible plot point, with one of them being like the princess being part of the spy as well. And it's like, why? And
there are all these hints to this is probably going to turn into a plot point, but for now they're not really doing too much.
Not yet.
The first episode was basically kind of a mini arc for our main character.
It's
more an arc for us to discover our main character rather than having her change or anything.
People were saying that it might end up with everyone die, but then there's a game to it that's gonna get released. So it's like, nope. They're gonna milk out those characters as much.
They're probably gonna milk it as opposed to killing people.
Multimedia something.
I wonder what it is.
Speaking of multimedia,
Something.
Fate Apocrypha. That was the segue. Yes, I did a segue, guys.
Yeah, that was a good one.
No, I was done with Princess Principal. There isn't too much to say about it.
Yeah,
not too much to say. It's good, solid first impressions. Okay, Fate Apocrypha.
Why did they do a 2-episode opening instead of just one long one? That was.
Well, I mean,
It was 2 episodes, man?
the second episode is basically just setting up the characters again. It's like the second half of the first episode of Fate Zero. It felt very unusual. I was just like, why didn't you just do all this in one episode?
Remember what I said about the first episode being sitting out, the second episode being sitting out, the characters, third episode being the actual plot?
Yeah, there's a bit more characters.
That's the game adaptation formula for you.
What happens in this show? It's Fate. Did you watch any other Fate series?
No, and that's okay, because this is a completely alternate timeline for those of you who don't know.
This is the point where Type Moon started realizing it was too hard to make too many sequels after they made Hollow Ataraxia, and they're just like, let's just make alternate universe versions. Basically, this is a fourth Holy Grail War set in 2010-ish, like 2010's decade. So there's mobile phones.
It's the same time as like Fate Zero or like.
No. It's after Fate Zero's time.
Just a bit after, like around the same time period.
It's the time of the 5th one, but it's the 4th one.
And so basically, it's
so in this universe.
So first of all, adaptation of a light novel. So just one story, no wraps with that. Basically, the Grail has apparently, which has never come up anywhere else, this thing where if one organization controls all of the summons, it summons another 7 heroes. So basically we have the black versus white team, black versus red team, who are going to duke it all out until they kill one another, and then whoever's left has to fight it out for the Grail in the end.
It's a trivia night.
Yes!
See, I thought it was an episode of Monty Python.
It's set in Romania, so instead of Fuyuki, so we have a bit of like some different architectural stuff going on,
Which is cool.
Which is
and like
cool, yeah.
I remember seeing a thread on r/anime about like the accuracy of the backgrounds, and this is the thing that gets me about anime in general, is that they get accurate about the weirdest stuff. The weirdest stuff. Like, well, you don't care about it at first, but then like it's integral to like the
King Arthur is a girl, but we better not get that street wrong.
And Mordred is a girl as well.
Voiced,
but you don't
by,
want to call her that.
Voiced by the very lovely
Shiro Miyuki. She's fucking amazing.
Who also did Inaba from Kokoro Connect
and a bunch of other best girls.
Celti from Durarara.
As everyone should know, if she's in the show, she's the best girl.
No. Do you know who the best girl is?
It's not shown.
Astolfo.
Oh. I mean, she wins on a technicality.
I don't want to go into this anymore, because if I do, I will just go on like a fan gushing about Mordred and like how she's the perfect being ever.
An important thing to know about the backstory for this, though, is that this is set in an alternate universe where the third Holy Grail War wasn't a complete clusterfuck. So, Avenger didn't happen in this universe.
The anime-only viewers wouldn't know that.
Like, alright, basically, it's not going to end like Fate Zero did, where everything goes to shit.
It's less than dark.
Or at least the Grail won't cause it. I haven't read the light novel. I imagine that Fate
so, as an anime-only watcher of like all of the entire Fate universe as a whole, I feel this is good enough. Like, as like Fate Zero, you don't need to know any of like the backstory. They kind of just explain it already, and Jeroz is kind of going.
There's some stuff which is very much a have you been a Type Moon fan, like the whole fact that the clock tower, the church, all of that kind of stuff is kind of like it's in the background, stuff you're expected to know, kind
and
of.
And then there's a character called Shiro Kotomine.
Yeah, that's definitely
like if you haven't seen any Fate, I feel like you'd be confused by some things, but I think they explain just enough for like an anime only watcher to get the general gist.
If you start,
there's a mage faction, they broke off, and now they're the rebels, I guess.
If you start watching Fate with this, you won't be too confused, and you can probably catch up by by reading like a synopsis of one of the series, or just going on freaking the Type Moon with you or something.
Or if you want,
I would suggest you watch Fate Zero like instead of reading a synopsis, though. But like, there's not too much information. There's really not a lot of information missing here. This is definitely a pick it up if you haven't touched the series before.
Okay, so we talked about a lot about the adaptation, but what about the actual anime itself? Visuals, audio, characters?
Well, I am really surprised by the visuals, because this is actually done by A1 Pictures.
Oh yeah.
But it kind of doesn't look like they're doing it. Like, A1 Pictures has their own kind of style. Of course, but it kind of looks like a mesh between their own style and a lot of the digital effects work that Ufotable did, which makes me suspect they may have hired some of Ufotable's digital effects
which isn't surprising
studio to do it. So it actually looks really nice.
Yes.
We've only really had 2 action scenes in the show so far, but they look great. I'm really impressed because I went into this thinking it's a fan adaptation, so it'll have money behind it, but it's A1 Pictures, so it's a crapshoot. It could be good, it could be terrible, you don't know. And I'm very glad that it ended up on the good side of the spectrum.
Okay.
Okay, so that's it about the fate gushing. Wardrobe best girl.
Oh, whatever. Look.
Yo! Speaking about best girls.
Oh, you want to do that? Sure.
Do what? What are you doing?
I don't know. I was hoping someone would segue into that.
Right. I wasn't a part of that.
So
So
this is saying like Romania, right? You say.
Yeah, Romania.
Yeah.
Transylvania.
What?
Transylvania. There's Vlad the Impaler's in this show.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, true, right.
Because it's set in Romania.
Because why not?
It's just another show from this season that's set in Vatican.
Oh yes, Vatican, Kiseki, Chousakan.
Anyone who else watched it?
Yeah.
A show set in the Vatican.
Well, it's not really. This first episode is mostly set in Texas. Well, actually, it's probably Mexico
Nice.
somewhere, but they all have
It's all the same,
American
right?
names, so I'm just like
Texas,
fuck it.
Mexico, what's the difference?
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
Somewhere
this
around
is
there.
why we need that wall.
God damn it.
Okay, so
I
show
kinda-
synopsis.
Okay,
Supernatural.
Yeah, so there's like
the
TV
church
show.
the church has people that go out and investigate miracles, and our 2 main characters go out and investigate a miracle in northern
yeah.
Mexico or Texas or whatever.
one guy's like a science dude, and one guy's like a
Literature.
It's theology.
theology dude.
So
That's kind
one
of
of them
how
has
they
a ton of stuff to bring along every time.
Supernatural.
Yeah, it's well, they haven't revealed what happened.
I don't know. You can go anywhere.
It was okay. I'm not gonna keep watching it just because I have so many other things that I think were better than it. But it's if you are looking for an action show and you aren't satisfied with just fate and well, like not an action show, but like that kind of
Mystical thing.
mystical like the kind of tone set in like Fate Apocrypha. If you're looking for maybe a bit more of that, but more of a mystery to it, it's not like the art is fine. The music and voice acting is good, I think.
We just don't know how much religion bashing there will be.
Yeah, that's actually part of the thing. Like, I appreciated that the first episode like actually referenced some actual Catholic theology stuff. It's like, oh, Japan learned that there's theology in these Western religions. It's not just a thing to slap in. So like, that was interesting to see them actually do something with it for once. But I just get the feeling that it's either going to be the typical really shallow understanding of Christianity, or it's just going to be like, oh, religion sucks. Tips Fedora.
The lady.
I mean, I watched Castlevania. It's not as bad as Castlevania, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's just an excuse to put demons in the show, honestly.
Yeah,
So,
that could work.
like, it can work, but it's just like you have an interesting setup. You reference the greed and rich. It's like you're doing all this referencing, but it doesn't. It feels really.
There's one
cheap.
scene that makes me
Insincere.
squirm somewhat because there's one scene in episode 1 where it's like, oh, there's a stigma, and then the blood keeps flooding out into.
Oh,
the
yeah.
face. I was like, oh, blood-borne transmissions. Oh God, why?
The stigmata stuff is actually really visually striking. Like, they really did that well. Because like having just a mark on your hand, it's like it's a weird, but it's not as visually like whoa, that's weird as it could be. So I like the way they did it.
Also, there's plenty of Italian, as you might expect.
Dude, are you watching this show?
I haven't even heard of it until
You're
this.
watching it now.
Great. You should watch.
Speaking of shows, Stooge is watching.
Good.
Which one do you want to do?
Pick one. Pick one.
Okay. Let's do the worst one.
Did you want Hajimete no Girl?
Sure. Hajimete
Yes.
no Girl.
Let's. Oh, actually,
Alright.
I feel like this season, it might just be the shows I've picked to watch, but I feel like this season's been a bit more lewd than previous seasons. And
Yeah,
Hajimete no Girl.
it's the shows you're picking.
Yeah, it probably is, honestly. You wait till we get to the shorts and we'll see where I'm coming from. But yeah, Hajimete no Girl, it's so you got a group of guys, it's high school, right? And everyone's couples, right? Except for these 4 guys and the new girl who's coming. I think it's a new girl, I can't remember. These 4 guys are all neats, basically. They're not only neats, but they're also
they're otaku nerdy needs.
Oh my
versions,
God.
basically, yeah. And
Incel. R/incel.
Oh, let's pretend you didn't hear that, guys.
Just ignore that. No, I don't. Yeah, so there's one particular scene. They're reading Ero manga. Speaking of Ero manga, no,
That's your 2017 according to the president.
yes, it is. Yeah, and then the gal, you know,
Galu.
yeah, Garu, right?
Yeah.
Who is on the cover of the thing, you know, sees him reading the Ero manga and is like, you know, what the fuck is this Kimoi, right? And then basically he confesses to her, and that's all.
As a dare.
As a dare, right? He's dared to confess to her, and yeah, and then it eventually gets. There's quite a few lewd shots after that, and also
yeah,
the
this-
opening as well.
I think from memory, this show is censored.
Yes, it is.
It is.
It's
I've
actually
been-
humorously censored. You know? It's not
I
a
think-
mosaic. It's
I
like
think
they
it
put
airs
fingers over it.
a few I think it airs a few hours later on ATX.
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me
We've only seen episode 1 so far. It's got the what's it called? I'm in high school, but I look like I'm 12 years old.
Here we go.
And
Here's what it looks like comparing
Yes.
the censored and the non-censored one.
there's a non-censored one.
Yeah, I watched the non-censored
Yes.
one.
Today I learned. But yeah, no, the censored one, it's not mosaics. They literally just put their hands
They're actually
over it.
putting efforts to
I get the
censored.
feeling that the censored version's better because that looks funnier.
Yeah, that's
And all I hear about this show is that it's terrible.
It is terrible. It's fan service at its worst,
It's
but like really.
basically someone middle school who never dated just try to write about his fetish of Galu.
So it's most romance anime.
yeah.
It should be mostly romance,
It's
but
like-
with fetish feel characters.
Yeah, it's like I'm a high school student. My greatest high school days are over. That's it. I'm gonna die a virgin. And then he's dead to
Was that
go out with the girl. Go on.
Was that the manga you
No.
one time, or was that?
No, different.
Okay. I remember those scenes from the
Okay,
show.
yeah.
That's first episode. Yeah.
Yeah, this is our first episode. But yeah,
Yeah, well, it's base fan service at its worst. I mean, you really shouldn't expect it.
Yeah.
Like, if you know what you're going into, then
you
yeah.
Mika.
It's like the most popular like romancy show, which is like right
What,
now
in
this season.
Japan?
No, in the West. At
Really?
least.
I wonder why they.
It's like the 5th highest rated show on Mal. Not highest rated, like the 5th most popular show on Mal, which is like depressing as fuck.
That's really
Why
weird.
is
Fan
that?
service.
To be fair, this season's romance prospects aren't bad.
Well, I mean,
Plenty of
after
romance show this season.
coming off the
Yeah,
high
no,
of Symphogear, you know, one
Yeah,
is
this is.
There are lots of romance show this season, like what I got, Koi no Uso.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, no, I'm saying
Was
in
that a
general,
transition,
Speaking
sir?
of,
I think in general, the romance this season is pretty bad. And like, as Limyaael said, like, you know, compared to Tsugigakure.
I dispute your statement because Koi no Uso exists.
Oh, Koito Uso is... Okay, so this is our segue, by the way.
It's a great adaptation of the manga. Okay, back a quick storyline. Basically, Japan in like the 70s or something institutes this matchmaking service, which is called the Yukari law, and you know, our main character's called Yukari. It's fucking no, they actually did name him after the law, so it's not actually a coincidence. But basically, so they institute this matchmaking service pretty much, which matches you up genetically, so it's meant to be like really good. And in the modern day, almost every single couple is a Yukari couple, at least old and new couples. And basically, it's expected that when you hit 16, you will receive your marriage notice. And if you don't receive your marriage notice, it means your partner hasn't turned 16. And and basically, our main boy is in love with worst girl, Haruhara, and
as is typical of
and basically he ends up confessing to her at like 11:30 at night on a fucking park bench.
Outdoors.
still better than
And they do lewd things like hand holding and kissing. And then at midnight, he gets his notice on his phone. It's basically like, your notice is this girl. And then the message glitches, and then these two agents come up to him and is like, here's your notice, and it's not her. And there's your setup. So basically, you got the girl he loves, who he got the initial first notice from, and you got the official notice, which is with some other girl who is also the best.
I can't say anything because I haven't read the manga. I've only seen the first 2 episodes. I cannot judge.
After watching through the first episode,
What did you feel?
The first episode feels like the first act of NTR where they're the two lovers lovey-dovey together, and then one guy, and then you realize the girl must fuck the other guy, and then the main protagonist cannot do anything but watch. And it's like, yeah, I recognize this setup somewhere.
I've said this before, and like I didn't like how the guy character was punished for basically confessing to her, because like in all other anime, it takes forever for the guy to confess, and it's right at the last episode, and you're just like, oh fucking hell. And then you know, in Koitsuruso, in the first episode, he actually has the balls to confess.
Hey man,
and he gets
Hajimete no
punished.
gal.
Yeah, he can be this episode too.
That doesn't count. I'm not that.
Doesn't count, it's bad.
That's already anime. Wait, no, they shouldn't go in the same sentence.
But yeah, that's my point, you know? Like, you get punished for something that the character did as a good thing. And it feels like, I don't know, it feels like the drama is somewhat contrived because the drama comes from like this weird ass setting. But I guess you gotta start the drama somewhere, and this is it.
Okay. Yeah.
First 2 episodes, I can't really judge on where it's going at because it hasn't really gone anywhere. But yeah, art style, I mean, it's alright.
I really like the art because I really like the bug
The
eyes.
eyes are bigger than Planet. Oh my god!
Yes! And they're slightly more proportional in a way, and they have, but yeah, I don't know what else to say about it, honestly.
Well, there's a scene in the second episode I kind of want to just touch on a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Yukari and Lilina, which is the other girl, they're in the infirmary, and basically he's walking in on her, and the music in the scene, it starts off kind of like this upbeat kind of music you normally have when like, oh, the girl is angry and you know she's about to punch him or something. And the thing is that it keeps going. Like after they're like calmly talking and it's really, you know, quiet and kind of the moment where you'd expect like the piano to be playing, they just keep the music going. And it's a really interesting choice to do that. And then the music stops and then she gets angry. So just like, I feel like whoever's doing the music has an idea of just like not sounding the most boring cookie cutter they could.
I think I remember that.
It does help that the music is actually kind of like it's kind of normal with like an extra little like they threw something else on top of the normal music to make it sound interesting and unique.
Yeah, I think I remember that point. I think I remember at that time it was like, oh, this is pretty good comedic timing, you know? It's like,
Yeah, it kind of makes the scene a little more funnier.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
So you read the manga, right?
Yes.
Have you read the part where the anime covered this season? Or just the little first few?
I have read all 135 chapters. Now, to be fair, these are like 4 or 5 page chapters, so they're probably going to adapt a ton of.
Wait, short chapters?
They come out every week. They're usually between 4 and 8 pages long. The first chapter, which is the entire first episode, is very long. Okay. So, but with the exception of that, yeah, they're all really short.
Okay, so in terms of Tono like stuff, would it be more Kitsugi no Kire or Kuzu no Honkai? Where would you rank it?
more
On a scale of to
It's not Tsukioku Kire. It's not going to be exactly that, but it's not like scummy. It's
Yeah, it leads more towards Tsugiyaki.
yeah.
If you had to
If Tsukioku Kire is 10 and Kuzu no Honkai is 1, oh, I wonder why I did that. It's like 6.5,
yeah.
7.
So midway, basically.
Yeah, it's too cute to be Kuzu no Honkai.
Yeah.
Speaking of too cute, Made in Abyss.
Oh yeah.
This is fucking great.
Very good.
The setup for this. Alright, the setting.
It's alright.
The setting. The setting is island in the middle of nowhere that has a giant fucking hole in the middle.
Pretty much.
And our characters are
Nayami
orphans.
You become a hole in the middle.
And our main characters are orphans who are training to become basically cave raiders.
It's a
And-
cave story. Just kidding.
Yeah, it has that feel to it.
Didn't walk
Yeah.
dig.
But like the setup to like this world is really natural and unique, which is, oh my god, good world building in anime. I don't believe it.
What is this?
There's plenty of good world building anime. It's just it never lives up to its potential. Or its
Yeah.
characters fall flat, or like a mix of both. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, like the characters are children and they feel like they're going around having fun adventures, which you're in this cool looking fantasy city. That's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
Splunky, that's the one I was thinking
Yeah,
of.
spell
Ah yes, one thing.
It's like I do think it has a very cave story feel to it, as you said. Like obviously, the art is quite, more. It's good art.
It looks like
and-
marshmallow. What do you call it?
Yeah, Ichiro marshmallow
Yeah.
kind of style.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, you're right.
Am I the only one who feels like they're using like 3D between takes or something?
Maybe.
I haven't really noticed that, but yeah.
It's really weird because I noticed this first in the PV, which is why I was so interested. I was like, oh, that's an interesting use of 3D. It looks like sometimes when the characters are moving, they're like using a 3D model to move them, and then they're just going to another shot. It's very unusual. I can't. So it's got a very interesting visual style to it.
Did you read the manga?
No, I haven't, but I keep seeing threads that say it's amazing, so I really tempted
Just
to.
one little hint. This thing is being aired on ATX.
Oh no.
I don't want to hear.
Well, actually, I have seen a few shots like that. I'm like, oh, this is going to be like this.
What does that mean?
I
For, like
don't
the
wanna
people who
hear-
don't know what
No,
ATX
I-
means.
Yes.
What is that? What is
I don't
that?
know.
ATX
anything
is
about
the it's a channel for anime, so they're constantly streaming anime, not airing anime, and they are uncensored.
Nice.
Uncensored.
Uncensored.
So
Remember
why
the
is that?
comparison, like censor
Okay, so why is everyone weirding out over that? Isn't that like a good thing? Or no? Am I-
It is
Remember the
a good
monster
thing.
in the first episode?
Remember what?
That.
The monster in the first episode of
The,
Abyss.
What's it called?
I haven't watched the show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
Like,
okay.
Hang on.
This series is probably going to go maybe a little more Gunslinger Girls or Madoka than people think from the first few episodes.
I did get that vibe actually. I probably will go mental, but who knows?
But yeah, heaps of fun.
Watch it, it's probably one of the best
Yeah, I
shows.
might give it a shot. I'm
Yeah.
lacking on stuff this
Well, I
season.
started watching what sort of Borden and the snake
Like
thing
the
happened,
manga
and then I
looks
was like,
great.
oh, I guess this is alright.
That's how they drew the manga. The manga looks great.
That's
looks like art.
amazing.
That's the. It's
Well, I guess the show's a 5 now.
Yeah, it's pretty. I can't remember why, but I've heard a lot. Like I haven't heard a lot about the story, but I've heard a lot of it. Kind of. Yeah. So like, it's hard to say exactly, but what I mean. But it's very popular. I think I get that feeling.
Speaking of something that looks like mildly harmless but can go fucked up in the background, Centaur no Nayami.
The center one. Excuse
Yeah, it's question quote unquote.
It's alright.
Wataru is getting tired.
me. Understandable.
So, okay.
Okay, so it's set in an alternate world where instead of people and everyone being humans, everyone's a monster thing. So you've got your cat girls, goat girls, angels, demons,
This sounds familiar.
whatever the fuck you want. Yes, that's right. It's a hackneyed premise for monster girls. Everyone's favorite. Flavor of the month. Delicious. Buy your monster girlos. Delicious cereal. Fantastic, delicious. Buy the Blu-rays.
Something.
Fuck my ass. Alright. So this follows the life of one of these monster girls who's a centaur. And also there's like all this shit like seemingly in the background of the shady whatever organizations like autocratic society. But who gives a shit because it's cute monster girls. Everyone loves. I'll give it a 7.
Yeah, like it's basically like on the surface, it's basically just like monster girl doing like cute girls doing cute teen stuff. So that's what I felt. But like now and then they talk about like how the society like treats equality more than your personal freedom. About how like the two like governments.
Shallow social
agents-
commentary.
Yeah,
My favorite!
yeah. Government
just enough
agents
to
just
make you
keep
feel
looking just
smart.
to make sure it's there. And yeah, and they talk about like how the centaur race was like enslaved in some way because of their like build as horses and something like that. So now they just forbid all like riding the centaurs at all because it seems politically incorrect apparently.
What if the center wants to
Hang
be
on.
rated on, but
The Japanese society was their Japan. The centaurs were warriors. So you can't have warriors carrying people around. What are they, fucking pack mules? Think about the donkey girls, man.
there you go. You're
Like it's cute, and I feel like it's gonna be more popular in like the China and the West than Japan itself. I feel like because it's actually founded by the Chinese investors.
Oh, well, what do you know? Chinese is funding everything now.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of Chinese, Chronos Ruler is shit. It's done by Taiwanese.
No, it's good. It's good.
Whoa!
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
The Chinese cartoons.
Chronos Ruler or Jikan no Shihaisha. 3D is pretty solid. Definitely watch to the second episode if it looks interesting too, because the first episode I didn't like that much. It's kind of like the first episode's boring, but second episode Kugimiya Rie comes in.
Oh, the concept
of the show.
And like it's all good basically. If you don't like it by the second episode, like obviously I can't say much, but I imagine the second episode is probably how it's going to feel. It's kind of like that Time Lord kind of interplay going on there, so there's that kind of interesting stuff.
It's a show where the story is so shit that the director and the writer trying to fix it as much as possible, but with their limited ability they have failed to do that despite trying some interesting things in the presentation. So this is what I'm gonna say. And the humor is outdated, like 10-20 years old Chinese humor is so shit, I don't want to touch it ever again.
Wait, so it's not even like old Japanese humor, it's old Chinese humor.
The writer is Taiwanese.
Oh, what do you know?
But yeah, the second episode is good. So watch it. Like if it looks interesting to you, it's worth watching. First episode, probably don't judge it until second episode.
And speaking of shit Chinese shows, quickly, Enmusubi no Youko-chan. Take everything what I said about like the horrible humor in Chronos Trigger. Chronos Ruler, and expand to the entire show without the actual people trying to make it look better and putting the silly faces and look so shit. I don't want to touch it anymore.
Yeah,
show that's basically. Have you watched it?
No, I didn't even pick this one.
Yeah, don't touch it. Yeah. It's really, really bad. It's really bad. You want to kill yourself after 10 minutes. I thought the show was gonna be over and then realize, oh shit, it's another 15 minutes. I rarely do that.
That's me and Hajimete no Gao.
Yeah. No, I think it goes like Mika's cute. Oh wait, what's her name again? Anyway,
the lewd Mika, yeah.
Yeah. And one more thing that's shit. Keppeki danshi Aoyama-kun. It's a sports show about a guy who's a clean freak, so basically he just won't touch the ball at all.
Oh yeah, the soccer one.
He wouldn't header the ball at all. He wouldn't header the ball. He just like dribbles and just like his special ability is that because he don't want to touch anyone, so he basically can dribble across everyone because he don't want others to touch him. That's his special ability.
This sounds so awful.
So dumb.
Yeah.
It is horrible.
His play style is cleanliness according to the synopsis.
Yes. Basically, just no one can touch it.
So a football player.
And basically the humor gets really old very quickly, and it's just like, why do you even have it? It's kind of like the joke is something you put in the minor character. It's just like ha this joke, and then just ignore it for another 5 episodes before you bring it back on again as like special player.
But it's the main character.
It's the main character, and it's like, why? You keep rehashing the same joke over and over again. It's just like, oh, pass you the drink. You know how like sports people, it's like, oh here, have the drink. It's like, nope, not gonna touch it.
Yeah, it kind of, like, I didn't watch the show, but it kind of gave me the vibe of, like, one skit from Sakamoto Desuga, but for the whole show.
Wasn't that what Sakamoto Desuga was anyway?
No, but this was, like, different skits.
Sakamoto Desuga got different, ways to respond to different scenarios. This one only got one. It's just
I'm not touching it.
Yeah, basically, it's just like, why are you even doing this? And then there's like second half of the episode, there's like rival team captains, and his skit is basically he shows his ads every 5 seconds.
Basically, my reaction.
So
to the
everyone
show,
is
I'm not touching it.
one joke character.
And yeah, basically, and it's just like, why? Okay, no touching.
Steer clear.
Don't touch it. And speak of something you should touch, Isekai Shokudou, and we have Nafel stuff coming through.
Next show I want to talk about is Isekai Shokudou. It's interesting for me because it starts as a restaurant, but the door actually leads to some another world. So basically it's an Isekai and anime, but this one is really interesting for me because usually if you're seeing an Isekai series, the main character gotta be super power, and then they have the harems over there everywhere. But no, this one is just simple, plain cooking, and the food is making me really hungry. It reminds me of Soma. The foods really remind me of Shokugeki no so much, really well presented, and then the story isn't really complicated. And the main character is a chef. It's like an Oji-san, it's an uncle, it's some guy within the mid-30s.
Voiced by Usher.
And I think it's one of the good shows.
Konbini sounded so familiar.
We all know we are kind of bored with all these superpowered isekai guy, and then there's ReZero try to be stand out in the terms of isekai, but this one is gonna be a really interesting isekai show, especially with the food. It makes me hungry, for real.
Yeah, so
It's boring, it sucks, it's just food porn.
I'd probably give it a really, really different take. So probably
The setup of this show is basically a Western restaurant.
A Western restaurant that opens, that is closed to the rest of the world for once a week because there's a magical door that goes to fantasy worlds.
yeah. So it's like I felt there was kind of that episodic single take window into
Each
characters' worlds. Yeah. Kind of Kino's journey kind of thing where you travel around and there's some interaction with the main character, but really you're there to kind of have an experience of all the other characters.
All the
See what
patrons, their story before they come to the restaurant, basically. Like in the second episode, it become more clear. It's the treasure hunter that want to find out the treasure led by her mentor, and it's realized it's actually the restaurant, and then realize how much her mentor really loves this particular dish. It's all about the story of the patrons and how much those food really give them a moment of peace in this typical fantasy world, really.
Yeah, if that's your thing, then people will like it. For me, the first episode didn't really pull me in that much. It wasn't. I didn't really care for anything.
First episode, I didn't care for anything. The first 10 minutes. And the moment that the
girl even came in.
The yellow-haired girl came in. I was like, okay, am I meant to connect to her? And I'm like, okay, I'll try connecting to her and I'll see how it turns out. And the first was like, eh. And the second episode is like, oh yeah, that girl, no, fuck her. I don't care anymore. It's dropped.
The first episode didn't
Have you seen Kino's journey?
Yeah.
Because
that was good though.
So it's this one, so I don't know what's the problem.
I honestly think it's very similar.
I haven't seen Kino's journey, so
it's it's kind of the main characters aren't the main characters.
Instead of the main characters adventuring and traveling around the world, it's basically people coming to him telling their stories.
I don't think it's
about Hala or something.
I don't think it's an episodic problem. I have liked episodic shows in the past, and if anything, I advocate more for episodic shows. It's just that I don't care about food porn. It's boring.
No, the food porn's not the problem. The food porn's not the emphasis.
No, I think it's the problem for me is that there are large segments of the show where it's just, this is an exquisite meal. I don't care. Can I eat it? No, I don't care.
I agree with Lim because I'm having trouble about what I didn't really like about the show, and usually these kind of slice of life relaxing shows are great for I enjoy them, like Flying Witch, right, and probably other stuff which I can't think of the top of my head. But I was wondering why I didn't really like it, and they do spend excessive amounts on the food and not enough on the characters. For me,
I in the second episode we have the treasure hunter whose design is very inspired by Lara Croft. I wanted to like her. I thought her story of trying to find out where her grandfather,
just the mentor,
or whatever, where he went, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. And he went to this restaurant. You discover the joys of what he did. But then there's a 3-minute segment in the middle where she's just this this pork cutlet or whatever. It's delicious. I don't fucking care.
It's the same.
I want to eat it. I can't eat it, so I don't care. Maybe I just because I value food is just. I want to eat it, and I don't care about
Probably that's why.
Exquisite, delicious. I don't care. I just want to eat it.
Yeah,
So
I think
maybe that's another problem.
those scenes are in there to make sure it slows down. So, because I think if you did just
that makes the pacing a bit weird, right?
No, it makes the pacing great.
For me, it's just it feels disjointed.
It slows down everything.
Yeah. It's supposed to be slow.
Yeah,
but this is slow and it's too slow.
No, there's slow, and then there's very weird intercutting. which make like you it's like it goes slower, then it goes even slower for no
There's
good
slow
reason.
for a joke, like in Ichigo Marshmallow, where they're all just sitting around going, "There's nothing to do," and there's slow in like this scene should have ended already.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Like maybe it's just a
Polarizing
divide.
You got one half.
we-
Yeah, I think that's going to
You
be
know
the
what?
thing.
Don't love
You know
it.
what? Watching this show made me realize. Praise Industrial Revolution, the power refrigerator. It is
Yeah.
great.
It's great. I love it.
And yeah, and I love how like all the food, like the whole the raw material are done by like gathered in the real world, like the modern world instead of like fantasy world as well. Because like stuff you can get basically like some of the stuff you can't really concoct of like soy sauce. The reason why I mention that because in Isekai smartphone, whatever it's called.
Speaking of isekais with food in them,
Oh, we're gonna finally gonna do smartphone.
Isekai trope is Isekai wa smartphone to Tomo ni. So basically, the main character actually died, and then because it's unnatural cause, I mean the god Kami-sama make a mistake, so he can live to another world, reincarnated as a person in another world, and then he asked the Kami-sama to make his phone actually accessible in the real world, and then the god also gave him like a lot of extra abilities to make him live comfortably over there. And this is why I'm start ranting about how isekai actually make people, I mean authors, really being lazy at making their main characters, making their backstories interesting. Because hey, I got like this superpower guy. But how am I supposed to make him interesting? Oh, let's put him from Earth, from the real world, and he's suddenly transported into Isekai with so basically he's a hero, blah 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 blah. Great things. But seriously, no. It's a really lazy way to explain how boring your character is. Because you don't know how to make a good character, you just like, hey, I just make superpowered guy, but how to make it interesting? Oh, let's use him, he's from another world. That's the pointless. That's offering it's boring maybe, but I think it's more like overuse because I have read so many kinds of isekai, and this one is also the subpar one because the main character is already overpowered from the beginning. Well, that's like Kirito, who actually, at first he starts as a normal guy, then it gets harem, and then went full superpowered OP guy, but he's like steps along with it. But this one is like, it's just he started OP, and it's really boring for me.
Yeah, basically, Isekai wa smartphone no Tomo ni. Stooge, you watched it as well, right?
I did, yeah. It's because I rolled a 4 on a 1 to 50.
Roll the D50.
Well, the
got a
D50 got a
4.
4. I had to watch this.
Critical failure.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so as Nafal said, basically the scenario is, guy dies, goes to a parallel world, has one wish, keeps his smartphone.
Oh my god.
That's still getting a god.
Yeah,
I've never heard of this before.
Yeah, no, and it's like Konosuba, but not funny.
What else is left?
That's it. There's nothing left. It's just he's in a parallel world. Oh yeah, you'll be able to use magic soon. Proceeds to be fluent in all 7 fucking elements. Okay.
He has the power of Google.
Yeah, it's true.
I saw a comment that said like this show could be interesting if it was about him being like this weak loser who has access to the internet. And no one else has access to Google and stuff. He has to use his smartphone to work out how to work around the world. Instead of...
How to do Kung Fu.
Well, it's kind of like in ReZero, Subaru uses the phone to take photos of people, and the clock on it kind of comes into use later.
That's true.
And I saw someone basically, if he did that, it would be interesting, but there's all the extra magic bullshit.
It's not.
Basically, he
already
stack out all the stats, max out all the stats, and it's just like, why would you even need that?
Yeah, exactly. Like the only thing he uses his phone for is this band broke up in the real world.
Fucking hell,
That's it. That's all we see of the phone, aside from you can charge the battery with magic.
Remember what I said about Hajimete no Girl is written by someone who doesn't know much about dating? This is something who doesn't know anything about characterization or building a good world.
So this is someone who doesn't know anything about anything.
About anything. Basically, take all the tropey generic stuff about isekai genre and put it in a smartphone.
And that's pretty accurate.
It.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's nothing else to say about the show, honestly.
It's like
It's
one of the worst shows.
It's a boring show, boring character, overused tropes. Let's move on.
Yeah. Don't get sucked in just because it says smart.
Speaking of Isekai,
Knights and Magic. Well, if you listen to the titles, it look like Knights and Magics. I think it's pretty common. It's like the bread and butter of medieval era, but here's the plot twist. First, it is an Isekai, and second, it's about mechs. So basically, Knights here means a giant robot powered by magic. And the first episode, there's like some kind of prologue that the main character actually died, and then he's got reincarnated to another world as basically it's a 12-year-old boy, but actually is really smart and really have crazy OP stuff to really do interesting things with the mech, unlike the adults. And here's the problem is, I think the prologue is unnecessary because just like, this kid is actually really smart. He's really like robots, and then he's also he's rather smart. He's cunning, and think anything good thing about it. And I think we can just omit the prologue part. But if you omit the prologue part, it makes the premise kind of boring because it's like, it's normal mech. It's nothing, no new gimmicky. So basically, the author make it as a isekai, and it's more like a reincarnation though. So basically like Konosuba, but Konosuba, but he's like reincarnated to someone else. I think and also the pace is super fast. And I think the first episode, the first two episodes for me, it's like covering the whole, covering 20 chapters of the manga, and it's super fast. Yeah, I know it's gonna be 13 episodes, but come on, it's just way too fast, boy.
okay, so basically Isekai about a guy who likes mechs, is an expert programmer who really loves mech, goes into a world where he can use mech in a language that's very similar to coding.
So is this like Mushoku Tensei where he dies and is like born as a kid?
He's born as a kid.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I like it. I really like it. Basically, the entire message of this show is basically mecha is love, mecha is life.
Does it need to be an isekai show?
Does Yojo Senki need to be isekai?
I think the thing with the isekai is, if it wasn't, it would basically turn into Mahoka. It's my opinion.
Basically, experts just have this idea come out. But basically, the idea is that the tech tree stagnated in that world, and he's bringing new ideas from his ideas. Basically, instead of just doing the heavy, slow mechanical movement, he just go mind control. The whole the typical mech.
Screw this! I'll make a Gundam.
Yeah, basically, that's what it is gonna be about. I know Naval says that at the very end, the first two episodes skip through a lot of manga chapters, but this is where it gets different because, in the Western, where the exposure is basically to a manga, which is the first volume or two of the light novels. They basically say, "Oh, why are we rushing everything through the whole school age, the student life thingy?" Whereas in the Asian world, where they read the light novel, this guys go, who cares about the first part? The second part, where it's they go into the developing of mecha, that's way more fun. Skip the first few. We don't need that. Basically, that's why it's
Okay.
And essentially, it's similar to Sekai Surukato in the sense that the person from the outer world, comes in with new ideas and just reinvigorates the whole tech tree altogether. It's what it feels like, instead from the other view. And yeah, I get it funny because you know how in those type of battle harem type of shows in the ED, they usually just put all the picture of the girls together in ED, right? In this show, in the ED, it's basically just one female protagonist and several mechs running on the side. So Max is his harem, basically. And I really like it because
Speaking of harems, well, we got no more harem shows I think to talk about.
Are you sure?
Speaking of romances, Konbini Kareshi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna do this really quickly because it's really not that like there's not much to talk about. It's just your standard romance show where you have pairs of couples and you see how they get multiple pairs and you see how they get together. Pretty much. That's pretty much the premise of the show. And it's and it's shallow but really that's really what you're going
You're getting also like old like famous Seiyu back into the game as well. So it's like whether you like it or not.
I think it could have been better if there were less couples to focus on.
Probably.
That's fair. Because there's a lot.
In the first episode, I think we got to see like 5 couples possibly.
Yeah, like a lot of it kind of reminds me of Tsukigaki Rei, but I'm just like, this.
It's definitely not.
It's not that level. But like, it's like this is just a normal down to earth romance show. And all I could think is like this would be better if we just had a bit more time dedicated to couples or something.
Yeah. It's never going to be as focused or something.
No.
I think the second episode from memory was a bit more focused.
Oh yeah,
I didn't get that far.
Oh yeah,
but like it's never going to go into the in-depth thing.
I did feel the second episode. But this was a show where if you didn't like the first episode, the second episode might be worth watching to actually decide a bit better. Because the first episode is probably worse than the second.
Okay, keep going on with the romance trend gamers.
That's a romance. I watched the first episode. It was so bad.
It was okay. It
was nothing fantastic.
No, nothing.
It's not even fun.
Quote unquote fun.
It's an average club setup. I thought it was just going to be him and her like with the club, and they were going to have to set up the club instead of being an actual club. Which that was a bit of a twist, I guess. But yeah,
the characters were just a weird like caricature of like
apparently
gamers.
One of the main characters hasn't been introduced yet, which threw me.
I saw. Like, you saw that in the OP or the E.
Yeah. So,
but honestly, it's I don't know. It's not.
It's not as focused as something like Stella and Maho, which is really good. It could be fun, I guess. I just get the feeling that the main character is one of those assholes who says he's a gamer but he only plays shitty mobile gacha crap.
He's like, I'm a gamer boy.
Yeah, so
I only play Candy Crush.
I feel like that might piss me off if that happens because all the rest of the characters are actually dedicated to proper games.
Well, he played visual novels, so...
That's a game.
They're not games.
It's totally. Okay. Anyway.
All right.
It was okay if you want to. Sure, whatever.
Speaking of games, should we do that?
Are we doing that?
Hey, what are you talking? I'm not sure. What?
New game.
Oh yeah. I completely fucking forgot.
Your baby.
New game's fucking magical. Don Kobo return with more magic. Did you like the first season? This is exactly the same, except the first episode is funnier.
Yeah, so with this, you do have to watch the previous season.
Yeah. That's only 12 episodes.
Should have gone to the Wednesday stream.
Do watch the first season, because it's really good as well. Realistic look, basically, into industry.
Realistic?
Informative. Informative is probably a better word.
Informative, not necessarily perfect.
Informative in the sense that it's kind of like Shirobako, that you get an overall view of the industry.
It's probably not realistic in the same Shirobako.
It's been compared to Shirobako ever since it was announced.
Yeah. Since last year, I have 3 more friends that work in the concept art in the game industry, and they say this is basically what their working station is like. So
I think it's realistic. Being on being more on the programming side and on the graphics side slightly, then it's pretty realistic.
I really like that the first episode was very much just about jokes, kind of at the expense of the characters makes it sound like it's a bad thing. Like the first season, a lot of the humor is more probably except for like Nene and the Umiko stuff. A lot of it is just like here's some game development shenanigans. This first episode, because the interview section was very much just let's lightly tease the characters, I guess. The best one being the interview with Hifumi. Where she's shocked into silence by being told she's going to be the art director.
Yeah.
So that was really fun.
Yeah, it's a fun show. If you're not into game development, like the first season, you'll probably enjoy the whole thing. But if you are at all slightly into game development, you'll probably enjoy it a lot. I don't think there's too much extra to say we've seen the original.
Yeah. Not much really. Basically, like first episode, basically reintroduce all the characters, give us some of the basic quirks, and that's it. And we get a tease of what's
It's
gonna
a typical reintroduction episode.
And we're gonna have the tournament arc coming up. Just kidding. Nah, it's just concept art
For the
competition.
characters.
Yeah, that's it for next game basically. And speaking of cute girls doing cute things and sequel spin-off, HinaLogi, better than the first one.
Well, it's because fucking Logic sucked. I think if you like the character designs, it's fine, probably. It's just girl goes to Magic Academy basically and has cute girl slice of life shenanigans.
Yeah, basically it's
Both of these shows are done by Tokuro,
yeah.
so they both look really cute. Yeah.
I think HinaLogi looks less polished.
Yeah, HinaLogi is definitely the less polished of the two. However, there are already 4 episodes out. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
It's already a third of the way done.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically cute girls doing cute things with transformations and
Magical girls doing cute things.
speaking of Lolly, Tenshi no 3P.
You watched it? Because I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't
Tenshi no
watch it.
3P, it's basically Lolly show plus a band show with more competent than there should be band performances. And yeah, basically you look at it and those 3 lollies beats K-On!
Well, that's not too hard.
Yeah. Basically, it's like, this is actually very good. Like the first half, basically, like the protagonist is a music composer, like think like Vocaloid composer, that type of stuff, doing like the electronic indie music filmmaking, really stuff. And we don't really know much about how much it's gonna set up, or is it gonna be a huge like story arc with him later on. But he met those 3 lollies and they want him to like make him like they want him to make them a song so they can perform at a special event, and it's basically in the first episode. And like, if you want to watch for lolly, it's good. If you want to watch for music, I don't know how much they're gonna go into the creative stuff in terms of like the song, the composer type of scenario, because the first episode does go into like the whole bit of struggle as to like your song just doesn't get clicked at all. And the reason why it gets clicked because like the illustrator that you work with gets the people in instead of your song having the merits itself. Like it kind of touched onto this area, but because
cynical look at the music industry.
You're not cynical, like, because it happens mostly really in the vocal industry. Like the illustration draws in more thing before the music actually gets more credit, become the bigger draw. So it's like, yeah, that's what happens really. And
Typical advertising.
yeah, really. And
Speaking of music, Symphogear Season 4! Season 4! Season 5
what is
already
this? The
announced.
unicorns?
I'm so happy about it. Anyway,
Multi-season something.
yes. The plot setup is better than the last 2 seasons, but unfortunately nothing is ever going to beat the climax of the first episode of GX, where Hibiki punches a fucking mountain.
Nice.
Look, you already watched the first 3 seasons if you're even thinking about watching this show, and you've probably already watched the first episode. You know it's good. Watch it. Listen to the music. The music is probably a little bit improved over GX.
So speaking of music, in some sense, Ballroom e Yokoso.
I was also thinking of transition there somehow.
Yes.
Do you like watching giraffes dance?
Giraffe.
Yeah, like
Next!
I think only the first episode's aired.
Yes, the
which
second
aired on
episode's
Twitch.
out tomorrow or something.
Does that happen?
It was a weird experience to watch anime with like thousands of people on Twitch chat.
Oh yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah.
Because Amazon got the rights to this show, so they just
Yeah,
premiere it.
Amazon
advertising
also owns Twitch, by the way. I wasn't that drawn into it. It was kind of okay, but
it was
nothing yet.
It's
for
like
me.
a good sports show setup.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of Takumasame, but maybe a little less enthusiasm from a main character.
Because the main character has to learn from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So.
But like, it reminds me of like that style of sports show where it's a lot. There's a lot more character stuff, and it's not like, hey, do you like this sport? What?
Wait, so is the anime about what the title is?
It's about
yeah.
ballroom dancing.
Ballroom dancing.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, kid who don't do nothing because he's boring because he's the main character. Discovers through some shenanigans a ballroom studio, and the first episode is basically
A training episode.
the training episode where the coolest fucking guy ever, who is a great dancer, is basically like, hey, you should practice this super simple step. And then when you're done, and then you can stop when I tell you to. And basically the point of it is piss off the main character, leave because I don't want to teach him. And then the main character keeps doing it all night.
Yeah, because the other guy falls asleep. Just forgets about him.
But it's a good
It's
first
typical
episode.
setup, really.
Yeah.
For every like newbie sports stuff.
I liked it.
But
Ballroom
yeah.
dancing
I
sport
just
now.
hope it's not gonna be like Days.
It's production IG, they won't fuck it up.
I mean, like in terms of story-wise, but yeah, like I think the biggest role is basically the elegance and the thrill of like watching ballroom dances and because
I don't like
Dance
the
floor,
fact
is it?
that
Yeah.
in all of the shots, the women for some reason have their necks back here, and like it doesn't look real. Like that's not what ballroom dancing looks like. Like that's a moment. The woman gets twirled down, and it's only like to a 90-degree angle, and then she comes back up.
yeah.
Minor issue. It's just a person's thing where I'm just like.
And the necks are longer.
Would you say?
Yeah, the necks are the limbs are very long and thin, and the necks are very long. But
Like in terms of character design, it looks similar to Haikyuu because basically the same guys.
Yeah. the character design's pretty good.
Speaking of sports, Nanamaru Sambatsu.
Is that a sport?
It's basically quiz ball.
What's
What?
Oh, that, yeah. I was trying to. What show is that?
It's shit.
It's the.
I think that shows how much you enjoyed it.
No, I know. I just don't know like the Japanese title.
Then, yeah, basically quiz ball and
Quiz ball, there we
Basically
go.
the club and instead of like the protagonist being a newbie, the protagonist actually being very good in this one. It's like okay, sure. The voice acting for the female character is so shit. Oh my god.
No.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Okay, first of all, the voice act, she's not really a rookie. She's actually an actress. So she is experienced.
Variety
But
show actress.
she is fine. I like her voice because it's nice and different. The problem is how they fucking recorded it. She doesn't sound like she's recording the character, which to me signifies that, she doesn't have experience doing it. Because in anime, unlike in Western productions, they do the animation first, or more specifically, they do rough storyboarding first, then they do the voice acting, and then they do the more precise stuff later. To me, it signifies, like, if this were like 2004 or something, it would just be, anime is done in a weird way and they can't really retime stuff well. But in the modern day, they're good at retiming stuff because, it's just digital that just move around the frames. To me, it signifies she's not great, which makes sense. She doesn't really do that much voice acting.
There's no
But
emotions at
the
all.
studio fucked up and didn't spend enough time making sure that the mouth flaps are timed right. Like, to me, I don't mind her acting. It's not amazing, but it's alright. To me, the problem is that the character and the voice don't seem to connect.
I regret not listening to this with my earphones on now. I might go back and do that. But like voice acting and studio issues aside, I think the general premise is actually pretty interesting. For me, like it was cool, right? Like I don't know nothing about quiz shows or like I didn't know you had to all that stuff about buzzers and the technicalities. And it's really cool to see the main character's thought process, as he deducts what the question is and like what it's going to be and stuff like that.
Exam skills.
So is it like a Jeopardy style or regular quiz? Like, I haven't
What's the
seen
difference?
Well, regular quiz, you answer questions and.
Oh, I guess it's more Jeopardy style. Like you're on a panel.
You're on a
and then the
panel,
first one
you
to press the
gotta
buzzer.
time in the button before the question's done if you want to
Yeah,
have
and,
it.
and
okay.
and like with a lot of these kinds of
It's
shows,
not
you
ridiculous
learn-
game show stuff.
Yeah, with a lot of these kinds of shows, you learn things that you don't know before, right? Like how the questions are actually worded in a certain way, so you can guess what it is before it's even complete. So stuff like that, and seeing how the main character learns and applies that by the second episode is really cool to see. So if you can get past the semi-mediocre voice acting and the studio recording, I think it's
shit.
well, that's one opinion, but like if you can get over it, then I think it's a pretty cool show.
Okay.
One more thing about the school setting. Yokoso Jitsuryoku Shijo Shugi no Kyoshitsue.
AKA
Yojitsu. The episode to me, the plot itself kind of felt like that was kind of obvious. I saw it coming from like the moment they announced we're giving you $1,000. I'm like, they're not going to give you $1,000 next month, mates. Like, you focus. I really like the execution of everything though. It's made me really excited for the next episode. And did you notice the title for the next episode? The episode titles are accompanied with quotes. The quote is something along the lines of, it takes great skill to know how to hide your own skill.
Oh yeah, something similar.
Because our main character is secretly a badass, I read.
Yeah, probably.
So,
he's so lazy.
yeah, like, to me, it's an okay setup. But like there's like you can see the scummy side of some of the characters already, and like the execution makes me go, this is going to be very interesting. It could be either shit or very good.
Okay, just a quick synopsis because I don't really know what the show is.
Okay, basically, prestigious academy. You got to live on campus, and every month you get given
Points
because it's basically just an internal system where 1 point equals 1 yen. And you can't really leave the school, but there's all these facilities, the cinemas, the shops, everything. Basically, you live on campus for 3 years, you're going to become great friends with people, and this is the premier academy of Japan that produces all the great people. It's basically just, look at this elite school, now here's the fucked up twisted side of it.
Oh, alright.
It feels so cathartic. The main character, speaking of bad voice acting, the main character doesn't really do like the whole like subdued, lazy voice.
Main character did he did the
Tsukigakure.
Yeah, Tsukigakure's main character. What's his name?
Which is why it feels so weird that like the acting this one doesn't feel as wild as possible. Probably because it's not in his range yet, but it can get better. Anyway,
so I feel like it'll get better over time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Speaking of living on campus, yokai apartment no Yuga no Nichijou, which is like,
he doesn't live on
haunted
campus.
apartment. What?
He doesn't really live on campus, but he lives by himself in a white good.
So what
was it good?
He moves into a dormitory.
It's pretty solid.
What
it's
is it about?
I can't remember exactly how you, like, what it reminds me of. But yeah, so what's about is there's this guy who basically he runs into some he like, for reasons, he's not living with his parents, and he kind of
parents? He doesn't have parents.
Look, he goes into an apartment.
Yeah, so not an apartment, but like it's a Japanese meaning of apartment. So like
Think that Shokugeki no Soma where like the main character live in a
it's a dorm.
it's a dormitory, not an apartment.
He lives by himself in a house.
No, he lives with 2 other people and some other
several
things.
yokai.
Yeah, so it's kind of like
There are yokai in the apartments. It's like it's true to the title.
So I assume it's yokai sort of dorm shenanigans.
Yeah, it's kind of like that slow-paced, light-hearted kind of speed kind of thing. Guy doesn't believe in, doesn't really care about the supernatural to start with, and then he's like, oh, okay, hang on, this is the thing. So it's kind of that slow, warmy, light-hearted kind of approach, I think.
Yeah, I heard bad things about the original source material though, because it's getting really preachy and really hypocritical, so it's like,
Yeah, I'll just watch it.
That remains to be seen, I think.
Yeah,
really.
It seems okay so far.
Okay, so on the topic of supernatural stuff, Hellgirl 4, who's watching this one?
I'm not, because there are 90 episodes to catch up or something.
There's
a lot of stuff to catch up on.
They're mostly episodic, but yeah, Hellgirl, the basic setup is that it's like Death Note, but it's basically one-on-one. Basically, you go to the.
I actually know the setup. Can I explain it?
Yeah,
sure.
All right. So there's a girl from Hell, and
this is not Hellboy.
Fittingly named, I guess.
no, it's not. But basically, so say someone's bullying you, and you're like, God, I wish that guy would go to hell. Here comes Hell Girl. Yo, sup? I can guarantee that this guy's going to hell. But if you do, then you're gonna go to hell too. And you're thinking, oh what? Deal breaker? But no, these people never ever think it's a deal breaker. Sounds like the coolest idea I've ever heard. And like, yeah.
Rad. Episodic Faustian bargain with the devil.
Yeah,
Yes.
basically. The first season is basically straight. It's like, oh, someone, the bad guy's bullying the protagonist of this episode. It's like, okay, the bad guy goes to shit, and the protagonist managed to like make a new life basically from that. Second season just go, okay, maybe they are not so bad after all. Third season basically goes, oh wait, I shouldn't have done that. And the fourth season basically continues the same idea where after this episode it feels like she got the wrong person. Oh my god, why is this happening? This is why I don't want guns. Basically, just the idea of how like they are so impulsive, reckless. It's like, why are you even doing this? Yeah, and then there's an ongoing narrative about like someone's replacing like MRI as the main character, and she's voiced by Mamiko Noto. And basically, the last show came in 2008. The third season came out in 2008 and just got revived as well. And similar to Sayuki Reload Blast, who has a new season. Surprisingly, I think this is the fourth season as well. Another blast from the past. Hey, pun. Anyway, yeah. Continuation of the story. First episode basically reintroduced the main characters again. The drama very heavy-handed, but basically similar to what they had basically. So the setup of Sayuki is basically the twist on the whole journey to the West thing, except they are now all four Bishi basically going on a car to the West, kind of like Final Fantasy 15, and yeah.
Bishi is Bishonen if you're not up on regular.
Beautiful boy.
Oh yeah, Bishonen is beautiful boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Basically,
female counterpart is Bishoujo.
Yeah.
Yes.
basically beautiful person. Anyway, Sayuki, that's basically it. Like, I don't know how many people still have watched the previous seasons and gonna catch it. I don't know why it's still here, but it's good that they bring back the same like Seiyu back again. So it's basically that. And just continuation really, like if you watch it you just might as well continue it, but like I don't expect many people to watch it because it's been so long ago. And it's not like Hellgirl where you can just episodic down through. And speaking of one more like revival from the old series, Mahojin Gulu Gulu.
It's do you know what Dragon Quest is? It's the anime for that.
Basically it's a comedy skit on that.
It's cute. It's a cute Dragon Quest.
Okay.
Yeah. And let's speed up the
Might be
adaptation. They basically retelling this thing because it's been so long ago since the last one. So it's go, might as well.
It's half the length of the previous adaptation. So.
And they are doing like half the
Title.
double the speed as well. It's like whoa, everything just go fast as well. And so basically spoof on the Dragon Quest formula and
Picked up.
yeah, the female character is voiced by the female Seiyu for Tsukika Kida as well. Hey, I was gonna make that transition somewhere, but anyway. And lastly, we got into fantasy stuff. Shokoku no Altair.
The typical Mappa flair where it establishes the setting really well and makes you feel like this is actually Turkey. I'm not so confident about the story as of yet because it's kind of obvious, like, you know, but basically, alright, so we got this country which is basically Turkey and this fantasy Germany, which of course are the big bad guys because fuck it, why not? They're Germany. And basically we have some envoy diplomat, I don't remember, being attacked by, the Ottoman bows. And, because it's got the Ottoman symbols on it. And
It's so obvious.
yeah, and our main character is a pasha, which is like a blend of a military general and a
basically.
governor, or like a councilman or something. So basically, he attends the meeting. He's one of the youngest ever, or whatever, and causes a bit of a scene there because it's like, no, we can't give in to their demands. And they're just like, well, we gotta. We can't beat them in war. And so he finds the arrowheads, goes around looking for something, and realizes. Can't be theirs, it uses the wrong feathers. So then he goes along, there's a plot to try and kill the guy who was going as a messenger, and they capture some of the people that the Germans had hired, and it's basically like, hey, these guys were causing problems, so it clearly wasn't us. Crisis averted, but clearly they're going to try and start shit. So if the plot gets a little smarter, I think I'll enjoy it more. To me, it makes sense. If you want to show this kind of mystery hunting kind of thing, you want to solve something in the first episode. So that it was fine to me that it was kind of an easy mystery to solve because you also got to set up the setting. But if the rest of the show is like that,
Yeah.
If it changes up, should be good.
Yeah, basically they're gonna switch things up instead of repeating what episode 1 does.
Alright, that's good.
And now shorts.
Tsuredure Children.
Oh yes.
Great romance show. They adapted 4 episodes in the first 12 minutes, but it's wonderful anyway.
It's
It's like Konbini Kareshi, but cuter. So
Yeah, it's a
worth
bunch
that much more.
of cute, dorky kids
Yeah.
trying to get together.
Yeah, it's short and sweet. You know, it's good romance feeling.
The art is good. The music was there, maybe. I'm not really sure. I didn't notice it. It's 12 minutes. Just go and watch it.
3 episodes per skits, but yeah, they're very short. Multiple scenario, multiple relationship. I don't think they're gonna focus on any of them particularly well, but they're basically just like multiple scenario, multiple vignettes, and just like watch them being so cute together. Just think of the Tsukika Kira like post credit those shorts. That's basically the idea.
The short romance stuff. Yeah. Student council president, best couple, by the way. So just
Yeah, let's go.
If you have even less time, just read the manga.
Speaking of like, and then on the topic of like romance shorts that goes a bit weird, NTR.
Oh, here we go.
Netsuzou TRap.
I watched
The art could be much better.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode. It wasn't what I was expecting.
On the scale of Tsukika Kire to Kusuno Honkai is closer to Kusuno Honkai.
Oh, it's fucking, it's right there.
Oh, gee.
It's trashy, but it's trashy on purpose. Like,
NTR.
Kusuno Honkai was trashy because it's trying to be smart. This is just trashy because it doesn't give a shit.
So what do you
So I don't
think,
mind.
Grady? Is it an 8 or is it a 10?
Nice.
8.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Good answer.
Yeah, it's weird. It's gonna be trashy as fuck. Yeah.
NTR was one of those shows where I was like, yeah, the season's definitely getting looter.
Look,
That was
look, Citrus is going to be better. And if they eventually get around to adapting Yagakimi, that's going to be even better than that. But for now, probably watch Sakura Tricks.
Yeah,
And
so
speaking of Luda, skirts.
Skirt no naka wa kedamono deshita.
Oh, what's the translation for that?
There's a monster under my skin.
well,
Oh my god.
Also known as-
under your
It's
skirt?
about
yeah,
monsters?
that's a beast on the skirt.
What is this show about?
Well, if you thought NTR was lewd, it's not even lewd, it's just full-blown fucking hentai. It's, no, basically it's a girl who goes to a mixer, meets a quote-unquote girl, who goes back
Girl, male?
Yes, goes back to oh wait, that's spoiler shit.
I don't
You
know.
can tell. You can tell by the voice alone.
Yeah, straight away, you hear her voice. Oh wait, that
Let's
doesn't sound
ignore
right.
the voice and go to the fucking title. The monster within the skirt. Come on.
We haven't
No,
seen that
the
yet.
thing is, if I just watch the what you call the promotional key visual, I thought the girl was the boy. Because you know, there's an unwritten rule in all the trap thing. The cutest one is the trap.
Pretty
Yeah,
much,
that's it.
This one violated that rule.
It violated
Fuck
the
that
rule.
show.
There's a different rule when like if they're very beautiful,
Bijin.
they're the girl. Wait, boy. Fuck! The stupid show!
Yeah. So
Does anything else need to be said about this show?
they are.
I feel like that's
okay,
enough.
it's like
Stooge, please.
It's like the Monks series shows last season, basically 3 versions,
Oh, yeah.
and the most newest version had fingering.
Oh my god.
It did actually. Wait, why did you give it to me?
Oh, well, you were watching it.
I was watching it. Yeah, it's just it's just pretty much hentai, honestly.
You've already watched
Okay.
2 episodes, oh my god.
So,
Then
okay.
even-
So it's hentai and a short. So it's smut for the working man.
I watched it on the train. Obviously.
Trend, yes.
Yeah, watched it
Time to get aroused. Adequate.
With a
No,
matte screen
arriving at
protector.
3
and a
seconds, 3
screen.
minutes long enough.
Yeah.
Okay, and before we go into the last one, Cleon no Akali is basically another like school setting, high school romance, a lot of bullying in the first episode, and I think it's gonna be a triangle romance as well. It looks shit. I feel really bad for it because no one's gonna watch it, no one's gonna buy it, and it just looks so shit, but done by unknown company. And that's it. It's basically like. I think it can be good in terms of story, but I don't think anyone's gonna watch it. So, it's gonna be
not recommended from Jeroz.
anyway.
Okay, so before we move on to the next one, I'd like to quickly talk about Noa no Ojo no Noa Neko Heart. This is basically a 3-minute short, done basically flash animation and a spin-off series, a spin-off comedy short on a visual novel, Galgate Dating Sim, whatever you call it. The original game came out last year or 2 years ago, and apparently it's going to be a new one, so that's why they're they are doing a promotional thing with it. This is kind of like Wagamama, whatever it's called, another show from last year. It's basically the same idea, just taking all the characters and do shenanigans with it. And yeah, not much quality as going to the budget. And I don't think this is gonna be interesting. But as like in terms of light comedy, it does hit the spot in the very last punchline. So I think it's still kind of recommended. It doesn't look good at all, and it just look kind of lazy. But in terms of comedy, I think it's gonna hit there somewhat.
Last one, Aho Girl.
This is the dark horse of the season, and in looking for my news, I was browsing on Anime News Network, and I was the idiot who decided I'll read their opinions on the new shorts. And every single one of them said Aho Girl, the comedy was bad, and like, oh, the jokes are that she's dumb and likes bananas. And I can only get really fucking mad at it.
Quite accurate, honestly.
No, it's not! There is one banana joke in 2 episodes of the show. It is not a fucking joke. Look, bananas come up twice.
It's a serious matter.
Bananas come up twice. The first time in the first episode is an actual joke. The second time is, oh look, Yoshiko is eating a banana. And it's not a joke. That is the joke. But the thing is there are multiple jokes in the show, and they are kind of sexual. But the point of the show is, hey look, it's Yuki Aoi and Sugita Tomokazu playing off of each other, being themselves, doing a fucking... doing a manzai group. It's on screen, and it's great.
And Angela doing the crazy song again. It was fantastic.
And I don't get people who don't like this show because it's wonderful.
Hold on.
It is really great.
I thought it was going to be shit before I watched
The
it.
first 2 skits are kind of hard to get into, but once they get past that, oh my god, those 2 are having so much fun.
Wait, hang on, I need to point something out.
What?
The first genuine outrage on this show, and it comes from Aho Girl.
Of course it does!
Aho.
Basically, this show does a fantastic job making who hits that girl.
Yes.
Basically, you can just go, oh no, violence against female. Oh no, this is
That's
bad.
what one of the people on ANN said. They're like, oh, there's violence. I'm like, you just got triggered watching this, didn't you? Triggered. Fucking idiot.
Hey, come on.
Speaking of stupid, no, hang on. I mean, we ready to transition or?
I actually gotta watch this show now.
Yes,
after
you do.
all this. Yeah.
It's a short. It's not this long.
How many?
Go watch
12
it.
minutes?
It's great.
12 minutes?
Nice.
9 minutes? 12 minutes.
12.
12 minutes. Yeah.
Speaking of stupid stuff, Take You as well. Take You.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Take You gets recommended out of 10.
It's Take You 9. Do we need to talk about this show?
Yeah, just rated a 9 already.
Basically. It's already
Just rate them 1 to 9.
Next one is 10.
Yeah.
What do we do when they make Take You 11?
Alright, now we cut off right here and just end the podcast.
Yeah, that's good.
That's it.
Alright.
No. Wait, go back. Come back.
Fine.
Favorite premiere of the season.
Oh, gosh.
Good
I'll
question.
go first because I gotta get a train. I actually did enjoy. Excuse me. Did enjoy Aho Girl, honestly.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. Good comedy.
Alright, bye.
Alright. See you.
Princess Principal for its style, Made in Abyss for its promise. Like,
See, now I gotta watch Princess.
I think Made in Abyss is probably going to end up being the better of the 2 shows, but
Yeah.
I liked Princess Principal's first episode more.
Yeah, I feel like Principal is going to derail pretty quickly soon, but in terms of first episode, it was the best one.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's New Game Plus or Made in Abyss for me. Made in Abyss, I guess, New Game Plus for sequel.
New Game Plus, not new anymore. It's not called New Game Plus.
We're just calling it that because it's much better.
Yeah, anyway.
It should have been on.
What?
Action.
I watched like 4 shows,
Yeah.
and there's only one where I talked with any sort of enthusiasm, and that was Action Hero and Cheer Fruits. I'm looking forward to watching that and that alone. I'll see you at reviews.
What's yours?
I didn't watch that much either. It's probably gonna be Fate, like the mainstream noob I am, or Kakegurui, or like the other mainstream noob I am.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, okay? I was about to say, on the topic of Apocrypha, if you have no idea what Fate is, this is the show you go to if you want cool shit to happen and people to talk about said cool shit. That's it.
Also, Mordred Best Girl again.
Like, they are both, like, the mainstream shows of the season, yes, but they're both, like, good so far, so...
Yeah, so, nothing wrong with
Look,
that.
it's not SAO.
I
Yeah,
enjoy
fine.
it. I have nothing wrong with it, by the way. I enjoy it. Jeroz?
Oh yeah, Princess Principal so far.
Damn, all these like shows that I've missed that have gone under my radar, I feel very.
But yeah.
Yeah, so
But I feel like in terms of enjoyment, I think Knights of Magic might be the one that gives them the most enjoyment throughout the season.
Okay.
okay.
Alright, this was my retirement podcast. I'll see you later.
What?
That's it.
Oh yeah,
Let's
that's
do the
right.
outro now.
You guys do all your podcasts in one take?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Most of the time.
The pressure's on!
I edit out a lot of things. This is why you feel so
Yeah, like
strong.
if we name drop, then usually edit that out, for example.
Name drop, but your name is Stooge, so.
Oh,
It's always been
you're right,
Stooge.
Liam. I was born. On my birth certificate, you'll find my name is Stooge. What should we name our son? How about Stooge?
I like Curly. And they just like oldest three Stooges. And
yeah.
it's like, let's just go.
What about Mo? No, I don't know about Mo. Larry?
I think Patrick's a good name.